Welcome back to Buff Brain Sportscast, Season 2, Episode 7? Is it Episode 7?
Episode 7? Yes, 7.
Okay. Week 6.
Week 6.
All right. We got the Cowboys, we got the Chargers, and Kev just went 4-2. We'll do little updates before we get going here. Game's about to start. Kev just went 4-2. Official picks on Discord. If you want one free pick a week, he's 4-2 this year so far. Last year, what'd you go?
9-1.
No, wasn't that the first year?
First year.
Where'd you go last year?
I don't remember specifically. I think it was 67%, 72%, that range.
It was good. It was good. I can't remember what exactly.
Because we did a Thursday night game. We do a Sunday sometimes, and then we do Monday. So
to go back and check. Yeah.
But it was definitely worth the time for the picks, and for sure.
Definitely. Yep. You can check us out on BigBrainUniversity.com if you want to see what else we do. Currently, we just migrated to all the channels, YouTube, Rumble, all this stuff. So going to start expanding. So if you're new and you've seen some links here and there, that is why. Without any further ado, I just can't. It goes against my moral fiber to cheer for the Cowboys. But I can't. Justin Herbert every time that I'm involved in a game with him, and I need him to do something for me, he fails. So I was originally thinking the Chargers on this one because why not have the home team win? But they're not necessarily a home team, are they, Kev? That was kind of a good point. Like, sure, they're the Los Angeles Chargers, but they're not really the Los Angeles Chargers. And we just came from the LA Raiders, right? Yep. Winning in Las Vegas, their new home. So, I was kind of thinking maybe we'd see another repeat of the home team winning, but I'm gonna go. Even though we might see that, I just can't bet on Justin Herbert. I'd rather go with Kev on this one, thinking the Cowboys are going to come off of that loss, or no, a win?
No, they lost last week.
They lost, but they're looking for a hungry win.
Yep,
and then Chargers came off a bye week, so they didn't even play. Yep. So they might be a little cold, right?
They might be rested, or they might be hungover from golfing.
Right, yeah.
Watching Taylor Swift on TV. That's another thing we'll get into. That's still... She's still here. Give us back our NFL, Taylor.
A little bit of a gluten hangover.
Give us back our Taylor.
Yep. Too much cake.
Yep. So you're taking the Chargers.
Cows.
You're going to go with Cowboys.
I'll take the Cows.
All right, you're going to go with Cowboys.
I'll take the over.
All right, I'm going to go with Cowboys. I don't like the over-under. It's too much rooting for both teams to score. And it's like your team 24-23, and you're like, man...
I know.
I got the over covered, but my team's losing. It's too much.
I can go either way on this one. I didn't really think about this a whole lot. Honestly, I thought it was like 40 or 41 before I got here, but then Kev said 51. So I was 51. Like, oh man, really?
This last week, NFL 12 of the games played all went under the posted total.
Dude, I probably should.
Low-scoring games, but Monday night, we don't. That's why 51
We haven't seen a Monday night game go over yet.
It hasn't. It's been,
They've all been pointless first halves. You think we're going to...
Could be a trap line.
I think, okay, I'm going with the under.
All right. So
I've switched my pick around a little bit here. I thought the over just because it would be fun. I want to see like a high-scoring game, but... We haven't yet.
Yeah.
And 51, geez, it is a lot of points.
26-25. That's what the prediction.
Well, I suppose that's what I'll take. We'll just go with that. If I don't hit, I don't hit.
Yeah, like most of the over-unders out there, it's just that 51. Spooky. Very spooky line.
Yeah. See, I don't really have a whole lot to go on this game. I didn't really do any research, and I didn't really put any feelers out for Synchronicity to weigh in. So yeah, no, I don't like the Chargers and never have. So maybe this is a little bit of a bias.
All right. So that's your official Monday night pick.
I guess I'm willing to take a loss. Currently, for anybody new, I am 16-6 in 2. 16 wins, 6 losses, 2 pushes. Betting all trifectas on these Monday night games. Was going for the elusive double trifecta, but I think 5-1 was all I was able to get. So maybe next year when the doubleheaders come back, but
maybe next year there'll be 2 games every Monday night.
Yeah, hopefully we can only hope for more.
And you have to pay for both of them.
They just as well add a couple new.
Make us
teams.
pay like Taylor Swift. If Taylor Swift gonna be there, it's pay-per-view.
Yeah, $5, $5 a head.
Fuck that! It's gonna be 55. You can't even see in the theater for under 50. So, all right. So that's your pick. Yeah. Well, good luck. It's Monday Night Football. Spooky Monday night.
Yeah.
All
right.
So big recap for. Besides being a world traveler, poker player, living on continents, traveling around the world, I've been able to apply statistics, calculate probabilities, algorithms into the sports betting thing. So, because at the end of the day, all it is numbers. Throw a bunch of flags at the end and you got an outcome. But now, I have a 4-2 record on Discord with the weekly picks. That's 66%. That's not bad, but it ain't no time to be slowing down, right? 4-2 is a cushion. It ain't like 2-4. So being 4-2, thus season such far, all documented on Discord.
See,
Week 1 won with the Tampa Bay Bucks plus 5.5, 20-17 outright over the Vikings. Week 2 won with the Seahawks plus 4.5. 37-31 outright over the Lions. Lost week 3 Broncos. Remember that 70-0 or 70-20 throttling. I had the Dolphins.
yes.
I had the Broncos. That was the week 3 I lost. I lost week 4. Saints as a -3 point favorite to the Tampa Bay Bucks. And then I won week 5 with the Jacksonville Jaguars outright over the Bills. And then week 6, this recent week, I had the Jets. Jets. 6.5 point underdog winning outright against the Eagles 20-14. I'm going to have another pick released on Discord Saturday evening, usually by 5:30 Central Standard Time. 4-2, let's go for 5-2. The 5-2. The critics were there to judge my pick last week. I talked to some people. They're like, who you got on the game? I said, I'm taking the Jets. And they started laughing.
Dude.
They're like, bullshit. And I was like, man, you go criticize that pick?
I
like,
thought it was a ballsy pick.
They said, there's no way that. And I said, well, I'm going to show you a way. And that's them crabs in the bucket, bro. They pull you down, won't let you escape. Even next time I see them, I'm going to get criticized.
Who did they play again? Was it the Bills?
You talking about the Jets?
Yeah,
they played the Bills.
Yeah.
They beat them outright, 25-20.
Yeah.
That's a double-digit cover for the dog.
Dude,
so that's 4 wins, 2 losses, and all my 4 wins were outright winners by the underdog. Outright, meaning they fucking, and when I lost 70-20. So I remember the big loss. That's the good thing. You get the big loss out of the way, and then you're like, okay, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose by 50. If the spread's this, it's got to be minus, I'm going to lose by 50. That's fine. Yeah. Everybody can be like, yeah, but the Dolphins are for real. Like, oh my God, that team's on a whole nother level. So, with that being said, you went over what your stats were and win-loss and ready to go. I'm excited. Week 6 almost in the book, and boy, it was a bad weekend for the public out there for the gambling. Man, were there some upsets. Whew.
That's what I heard. Some really bad scripted plays.
No more undefeated teams. The Niners got beat outright, and then the Eagles got beat outright. They got beat outright. They're undefeated now. They're I don't know, golfing. I don't know what they're doing.
Gone fishing.
So, yeah. So welcome any of those. Any Japanese listeners out there, go chozu arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you for listening.
The website and the pod and listening viewership, I suppose. I don't want to say viewership, listenership, because all the podcast channels are not exactly viewership, but I think we were up over 800% on statistics on viewership. So I think I dropped just a couple comments off on a couple BitChute channels that garnered some views, basically. So that was nice to see. It's kind of interesting to see the amount of clicks per visitor based on our content. I can see a lot of the titles grabbing people's attention. The one thing our channel doesn't really have going for it is that it is all long form podcast. Like it's pretty much, I don't think we have many episodes or anything under 2 hours. So yeah, it is a long form podcast, but what do you want us to do? That's where we're starting. Yes, I will be doing much shorter form stuff in the future here, but that is going to be coming this winter when I am pretty much hunkered down for the weather. Yep,
40 below zero, we're all dead.
6,000 inches of snow, and basically I'm going to cover pretty much everything that we've covered on the channels, but I'm going to
we get into the rigged of
do react
NFL rigged.
Excuse me.
We have a lot of just stuff that we see and everybody else sees it. And it's the rigged part of it, the scripted part of it. There's so much to this NFL that has become that'll make your head spin.
You can't script it. You know how many people would have to be in on it? Somebody would talk. No, they'd all have to be in on it. That can't happen. Now, if you're one of those people that you just can't even imagine how this could all be rigged, you're probably not going to fit in around here. This is called Buff Brain Sportscast. It's not Weak Brain Sportscast where I can just watch the television and look at all the lights and stuff. Come on.
It ain't square betting podcast.
There's so much shit going on here.
4-2, 66%.
I didn't really explain any of my methodology on sports betting, but I went, including preseason, about 60-10 last year, 50-10, not including preseason.
80-some%.
And what I was doing was using synchronicity to make these picks. I've done it this year too, and my record is it's over 75% on both years now. So if you add that in with the raw idea of sports betting and statistical analysis that you're used to from an expert, combine that with what Kev brings to the table. So combine those two. I mean, I don't know of anybody out there that has a higher betting percentage on any sort of sportscast or Barstool. Like, again, I haven't really researched it, but
it's early in the season. Week 6 is easy to be 6-0. But it's
that's
also
true.
easy to be 0-6.
Oh, we got a fumble already, Kev. Look at this.
Could be 0-6, 6-0. It's all about where you at week 17 when the season's over.
So is that Chargers football on like the 3-yard line? Oh, no. Okay.
No flags thrown yet.
No, it looks like it was.
So, yeah, the statistics and that way, that works for you. It would not work for me, so I never use any of that. But if you that works for you.
Yep. Because I'm bringing it into the table so we can further demonstrate how rigged it is.
Oh, it is, yeah. All of it adds up.
Like,
I see it, but
the synchronicity picks would not work if the signs weren't correct, right? Yeah. That's how that works. So it's like, oh my God.
For sure.
Well, we'll see how this game goes. I'm pretty excited today. Hopefully this game isn't just a fucking bore fest like all the other ones have been. Seriously. I tipped the under because, I mean, my gut just kind of tells me that, but I want to see the over because, gosh dang, we have had some boring fucking games. And I was attached to my record, and I want it to be like, 50 or 55-5 this year or something like that, But at some point,
you'd have people fucking calling like, "Hey,
exactly,
come
like,
work for me."
dude, they'd probably,
Barstools would be
dude,
fucking
they'd
knock on door. Nobody goes 50-5.
Dude, they're gonna
documented.
They're gonna take me and study my brain because they're gonna be like, "How are you communicating with the spirit world to figure out how the NFL is rigged?" And it's like, that's not exactly what's happening, but you people are fucking weird. But
It is with my one pick.
it'd be like some men stare at goats shit. People would start to be like, "How?" Well, I mean, they should start to
When
be
you're
like that
thinking
already.
about
But
millions and millions and millions of dollars that are being bet on the NFL, now it's with DraftKings. It's all this just publicized gambling.
yeah,
Nobody's fucking winning, bro.
publicized degeneracy.
These degenerate gamblers that go in with the hope of hitting a parlay, first of all, to hit one game is good. That's why I pick one a week. If I said, okay, here's a 5-team parlay, motherfucker, you know why that pays out 60-1? Because your odds are so stacked against you with parlays. So the DraftKings, all this, and you think about all the money that's put into these, just the bet on the games. That's hundreds of $millions filtered through the NFL on sports betting. You don't think they gonna have a hand in it?
Yeah.
And it's sponsored by the NFL.
And what? Yeah. So I don't want to segue
WWE
here.
is sponsored by all types of sponsorships, but the NFL just happens to be sponsored by DraftKings, sponsored by NFL, which is derivative of all of this. There you go.
I think why I'm deviating from trying to have such a high pick percentage, why I don't really care right now, and I'm not trying to get my picks right and just kind of seeing what happens here, is because when Trevor, shout out to Trevor.
Shout out Trevor.
When Trevor suggested Jake the Asshole's YouTube channel. Now, for those who don't know, Jake the Asshole is a YouTube channel. And I'll get deeper in this because I actually came across this guy several years ago when I was doing different kind of research, and turns out this guy was the same guy. Very interesting. Long story, but I'm getting to the point. His channel right now is covering how the NFL is rigged and scripted, and he's going through and he's showing you all the things that we've been talking about. Where we haven't had, I haven't gone in and done any slow-mo on like the one-handed catches to show you how the magnetics in the ball work. He has. So all that stuff, all those times where we're telling you, hey, there's magnetics in the fucking field goal post. Like, look at these field goal kicks. They're fucking curving. They're doinking, like triple doinkage, Like all of those things. When I came across his channel, I was surprised to hear everything that we have said. Well, not everything. Not even close to everything, actually, but a lot of the things that we are pointing out, some of the major obvious things that it's easy to see. The guys aren't going for real tackles. It's like this is synchronized WWE, basically.
But it takes 4 hours for a match.
So in watching his
Instead
channel,
of a 15-minute tag team match, it's a motherfucking 4 hours of commercialized fucking acrobatic.
I saw how he was doing his picks and like some of the methodology, and I was like, actually, that's some of the same thought patterns I would use when I was looking at the numbers. So I was like, okay, he's making sense. And what occurred to me was that while I have been watching these games so far this season, I've been more attached to the outcome of the game matching my 3-0 trifecta, instead of paying attention to more of the details of catching plays, how they're scripted and rigged, right? So I think as just a quick natural shift, I have sort of demoted the trying to get this high percentage record and just paying attention more to catching like examples that I can show people.
Because if you put your record out before like I do, 3 games on Saturday, good luck.
Yeah.
But that's the difference because
That's different.
On Discord,
And that's why
they
you're doing that.
They can use that as
he's
value.
The expert
if
on
that's
that, guys.
that's value for people that are using it for a pick. Like here's a. But
so there's a Chargers touchdown just to keep you up on. That's a quick touchdown, Kev. That's looking pretty good for the over.
Very good for the over.
I don't.
Quick 7-0.
I don't know about. I mean, it was the Chargers to score the first one, but
the dog always comes running back. Well, the fucking Cowboys are favored, but they're losing by 7. But
yeah.
the point is,
we'll see what
it's
happens
one of those.
here.
They can make it enticing.
It's gonna be a good game.
Low or it can go high.
Yeah.
They already know what the final score going to be. So it's just a matter of what side you going to be on.
Yeah. Did you pick it right? Did you pick the scripted game right?
Everything is yes or no in this gambling world. It's going to be one way or the other, and a tie maybe.
Maybe. We might see an OT tonight.
It's interesting because every year there's usually tie games. And haven't seen one yet this year, but long season.
That would make a nice, push for the over right at the end of the game or some shit like that. I could see that happening.
So, yeah,
definitely
the
go
Chargers. So, good. Hopefully, some of y'all out there that had used my pick, hopefully you won in whatever you're betting. If you put it in a pick 'em pool, I don't know. I should charge for my pick. It's picks, but you know what? You gotta build the credibility because I can just come out and be like, hey, I hit 85% fucking last week.
Right.
Big fucking deal.
Right.
How'd you do the week before? Well, I went 0-4. Well, that's being hypocritical of your stats because now you're lying to be. Okay, you hit 1 week, but damn, you want me to pay for something you ain't? You got 5 losing weeks and 1 winning. That's just.
I think that eventually we can get to that point, and I think what we're doing now is it does just take a while to establish credibility. That's just
because we could come out and be like, oh, we went 17-1 last. Well, if you don't want to have, how'd you go 17-1? We just did.
Well, we know
we
the
don't have
secrets
to
of the
prove
universe.
it. But now this year it would be like, okay, well, 17-1 is ridiculous unless you have it documented.
Right.
There might be a few out there that have done that, but to actually
you can say that. I hit 80% last year.
85%.
I went roughly 60-10.
Oh, and by the way, pay me $500 for my picks of the week.
Kev picked the sleeper for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I did.
I
did.
That was season 1 was actually incredible.
LA
the way
Rams.
that everything
LA
came
Rams.
together.
LA
there was
Rams.
so much synchronicity in that. Again, if y'all are new, there is just some legendary shit going on. I think this season we've really just kind of paid more attention. I don't know. This season has been kind of special in its own way too.
Yeah, the Sharps have been really crushing it with the sports books, and then all these squares, man.
Especially with Taylor Swift coming into it. There's more going on this year than just football.
I need my football
There's so
back.
many different angles coming into the play right now.
They are putting her back in the spotlight just enough to fucking keep her lingering around.
That guy and how many times do they run this defensive back number 2 here on that touchdown? How many times do they run a guy in motion and just sweep the pass out to the guy in the far end zone? He would have been on that guy's ass. Instead, he was 10 yards away from him. I mean, that's easy touchdown scoring, guys. It's well, no, you probably don't look at it because, that defensive end just wasn't there, right? Oh, touchdown, the play's over. So the public just moves on. Ooh, piece of candy. They play a Taylor Swift song, and the public's already fucking moved on. They don't care that the Cowboys guy was lollygagging and just acting back there. They don't care, so they don't see it.
Taylor Swift, man,
They're gonna start seeing it though because so many people are talking about it.
Oh,
now.
It's too much now.
Yeah.
It's just too much of her. We got a taste of it.
Too many people are losing money off of it too.
Oh my God, people are losing millions of dollars.
And when they lose money, they get pissed and they want something to blame.
Right.
And when it's so rigged, obviously now, when it's so obviously rigged, and they're even making fun of it and shit.
The script they're making. You want to put the blind truth in sight, you make fun of it, mockery of it.
That's right.
Everybody's making fun of it.
Yep. And then you mock
Even the
anybody
commentators
who's
are
like,
saying, the
try to see past
commentators
it.
are knowing that the public got their ass handed to them in a game, and they're like, well, that just shifted a lot of angry people to happy,
Yeah.
or happy to sad. And the interesting about the thing about the sports betting is, you go in there with hopes that you're going to hit something. You're going to have some sort of thrill of hitting, and you have no control over this. You're just going with it, and
That's
this
pass
and that.
interference.
But the problem is that it's too much of emotions for some people that, like, I'd be freaking out if I had the under in this game.
Yeah,
and it's
they
only
get so
7-0.
attached
I'd
to
be
it.
fully like panic mode. I'm like, I want the game to be 7-0 at the end, but then
Right.
it creeps up, and then it's like, when it's all said and done, it's like, man, what it could have, should have picked the other side.
Yeah.
But then it becomes in the reality of, well, this whole script is, what side is going. You fully would need the script to know exactly what to pick.
And
Because
dude,
this thing
here's-
goes back and forth so many different ways when these games are. They play it right. They don't play it on the field. They play it 2 minutes before kickoff. The money gets shifted one way. They're like, okay, guys, we need to step up the defense. We got, and then they know, hey, we're gonna run we're gonna do a run game the whole game. A few pass plays that get intercepted, part of it.
Yeah, they know the plays before it happens. There was a interview with Dwight Smith, and he was saying the same thing. Dwight Smith's a former NFL player, and he was with the Tampa Bay Bucks when they won the Super Bowl, and he said that we knew all the plays for the game a week before the game. Like the games, who wins the games are not decided on the football field. Mm-mm. Roughly, that's what he said. You can go find that shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, so anybody who's saying, well, players would talk, well, they fucking have, dude.
They don't have to talk. They've been they get told in the headset.
And they get told
Listen,
to talk, too.
You need to
Yeah,
fucking turn
exactly.
around. The intercepting ball's coming at you. Bam. Turn around, he grabs it.
Oh, yeah. Like, dude, watching this guy's channel just kind of like made it seem more like, man, they really all could be in on it. Like, it could be all
And
of
the
them.
people that aren't in on it don't need to be in on it because they just follow
And
the
it would
fucking
be,
leader.
yeah, like they would be like such few people.
The whole thing is a big pyramid structure.
How the fuck could you not be in on it, though?
This is set up like a military-looking structure. You got your fucking top of the top, which we will never know who they are. They're just the people that control, like they control this shit. And then you got below, you got the owners, and then you got the coaches, and then below that you got trickles down, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, with it being such a pyramid structure that they can tip it on its upside at any time just to give the false hope to the public. Hey, this shit is on the up and up. Mm-hmm. We just give it this false pretense of these coaches. Coach, did you understand that field goal costs people a lot of money? That's what they would say in the interview. And the guy goes, "What do you mean? The spread? I don't know what you're talking about."
I don't know what a
blatantly
spread
don't
is.
know what the spread is while they're being advertised on DraftKings.
Right.
You're telling me there's no script?
Yeah, well, the
Then
guy's
you got
basically
Mahomes,
sponsored by
Mahomes,
DraftKings.
the main actor that's driving it all. Everybody's focused on Mahomes and Taylor. Mm-hmm. They don't even focus on what this quarterback's doing with this magnetic this or the receiver. But that's where we've come in this end. It's all it can be. These are professional athletes. Yeah. These are professional actors. They're professional the way they talk. They're very professional. If they're told to do one thing, go do it. You go against it, you're out of the league and you're fucking banished.
Yep.
And if you speak out of the league about, if you're, the circle of trust,
oh my
dead.
God. Did you just see that? It was a quarterback sneak for like 15 yards for a touchdown on, was it 4th and 1? I think it was 4th and 1. Jeez.
There you go, 7-7.
Okay.
Right. So that's the way it is, man. It's all corporations, billions of dollars. And now with you adding betting into it, it's becoming way too much for the average Joe, the square better, to make money.
Yeah.
Gambling's for the rich and FU money people, meaning like they can, when I talk gambling, I ain't talking about going into a casino with $500 and hoping you hit a slot. I'm talking Fucking sports betting.
Yeah.
It's tougher than picking a Powerball. This
You gotta
shit is
have
for
bankroll
real,
for
man.
that.
This is stuff to pick one game. People are trying to pick 20 team top parlays that are $5 to pay out 50 grand so they can be on Twitter. Look at what I hit on DraftKings. I bet 5 and I won 50 grand. But look at who had to win.
Yeah.
You know how many fucking $5 tickets they'd spent on? And when they finally hit that one, now they got money coming in from their it's fucking ridiculous, man. It's false advertising. It's false advertising somebody's success on a parlay. That's ridiculous.
That's right.
Parlays are for suckers. Parlays are for the square bettors. Parlays are there as a glimmer of hope, like the Powerball, man. you get that up there with the parlay ticket. You've got 8 teams. You bet 5, you can win 1,200 or whatever the number is based off of what the odds are.
Really?
And you got that one ticket and you're holding it. You win the first game, but you got 5 more. You got to fucking win all of them. The house needs you to lose 1. So look at the odds stacked up.
Shit.
But that's the thing. But then when it's over with, the next day they're like, well, god damn it, fuck these parlays, because they're sucker bets. Total sucker bets. But they pay out when they pay out. Just like hitting the fucking in the video lottery. You put $2 in, you can win 1,000. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. You dump 400 and you win it. It's the same thing with the gambling.
Sounds exactly the same, dude.
Sports betting is more, you put more research into things, and then it's like it's never enough. You could put 18 hours a day and it requires more.
Yeah, that was the part of this too, is it's like, if I'm going to keep trying to maintain a betting record, a high betting record, it's like, I got to put a lot of fucking time into that. So I don't even want to know.
And you want to put in the parlays. That's the other thing. People say, Kev, what's the secret of parlay? I'm like, don't bet them. Those things are, but that's what keeps the books, man. They're like, if you're a parlay bettor and you're betting one, people ain't betting one parlay. Another problem is people can't be happy with winning one game a week. They got to win fucking 9. They got to win every game. And it's not going to happen. I try to explain that.
It's too time consuming.
It's way too much, and it's too much. Your heart comes in it. There's so many factors, and that's what the analysis, the statistics, all that stuff. I separate a lot of things that the public sees a lot of things, but I look at it from a different angle. Just different things that it might take people months to research certain things that I'm just like, you know what? The way the Super Bowl's set up at week 6, I'm like, this shit's going to be I was like, they're going to win. There's no other reason why they would not put the Rams in the Super Bowl when Snoop Dogg was going to be. It's just, it always like, there's a formulation to this. They had this planned out. Yeah. Now you got the halftime with Usher. Of course there is. Taylor Swift going to be there one way or another. So you got to factor in.
Kev's pretty good at seeing those too.
Those little things. But the average Joe bettor doesn't see any of it. They just go on hope.
I was having some revelations this week. I think it was after I listened back to last episode. And I was like, I was understanding more about your process without you really telling me about your process. It's just, I can kind of see how you're thinking about it sometimes. And some of this stuff, like so far this year, how you were just like, okay, Taylor Swift's got 2 fucking weeks off in her schedule during the Super Bowl. Why would she have that? Like, she can go play concerts, world tour, somewhere else, make a piss load of money, fill every stadium, probably more people that are going to be than will be at the Super Bowl. And why is she going to be at the Super Bowl? Or why does she have those 2 weeks blocked off then? So Kev's like, that bitch gonna be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. And then it changed to, well, she turned it down because they offered it. Like somehow it was in the mix. It was this possibility, right? She turned it down. Well, obviously she has to turn it down. You can't have such a headliner like Taylor Swift right now be the halftime Super Bowl, because then that's the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about who wins. Like, it's just, this is Taylor Swift Super Bowl, and there's a halftime show. The rest, there's going to be some football players, but Taylor Swift is the Super Bowl. So that gets kind of downgraded, not necessarily downgraded, but just shifted and more like the more we learned about it, the more details we learned about. Okay, Kev was right. Taylor Swift is gonna be at the fucking Super Bowl. She's gonna be there. Whether she actually sings, maybe. There's a pretty good chance. Whether the Chiefs will be there, and she sings, it's just.
It's too much.
Now, this is a little bit, but it was just kind of, I was on these thoughts and I was like, you know what, Kev's actually really good at exactly what he says, biostatistics and algorithms.
Poker statistics too. All that. All statistics.
Yeah.
Probabilities.
And
probabilities.
Where I was always like, well, when you say algorithms, people probably have no fucking clue what that means. They're like, what? Do you mean like how YouTube chooses to play what video? It's like, no. Algorithms are like patterns.
Yeah.
So
advertising agencies are very good with that. Holy fuck, they know what to do. Like grocery stores. I was going to work for a big corporation at one time. I was like, I had these opportunities. I was going to be like, well, let me go explore my avenues. Hedge fund manager, done. Let's go into, and then if I would have still been around with COVID happened, holy Christ, I would have been working with the White House trying to figure out what our next step is with where we're going to go with the medical, with the biostatistics, and then we're going to incorporate algorithms. Like and that's exactly, people can use that in daily life, but you just
the pattern recognition. See, if I would have caught on to that right away when I first met you, and I'd been thinking about things just a slightly bit differently, I would have been able to be like, look. Well, no, it was actually kind of how I laid it out to you in the first place. All the things that I was maybe the first person to come to you and be like, look, dude, that shape of the earth thing, fucking bullshit. Here's some little details. Boop, boop, boop. Take a look yourself. Had I had in mind that, like, look, all I have to do is actually point out that the same fucking patterns of them lying in plain sight are in every little industry, I would have been like, well, look, you understand this. Just look here. Boom, 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 boom. They're doing the same thing fucking everywhere. And once you see the algorithms, the statistics and algorithms that they use, the tactics that they use, well, fuck, man, then you can predict Taylor Swift being at the Super Bowl. You can predict the Rams being at the Super Bowl. You can predict all those things that Kev's predicted. So it's like, I know when I'm listening to somebody, whether they're talking sense, because I get an inner monologue going where it's like, it's not just me and them that's like listening and speaking. It's like, no, there's a higher presence type of feeling thing going on that I won't get into explaining all that. But it's like, hey, my spidey sense is going off during that conversation. And it's like, I get that feeling when Kev talks because I'm like, wait a minute. Like there's truth just pinging and ringing and resonating. And then it's like, you know it because the patterns line up, the numbers and the patterns, and that's how he's thinking. So then when he relates those things, it fucking makes sense to somebody like me, where I'm just like, okay. One of the things that I experience is like this conversation with the universe or the spiritual conversation while everything else is going on. And what happens is like when people start talking about truth around me, or I start talking about truth, synchronicity starts to happen in everything that's going on around us. And we've pointed those things out in the televisions when we're talking about certain things. We'll be like, boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. So it's like, I was thinking about that is all that I was saying. Like, because it's a really fucking interesting, fascinating thing. And it's like, okay, well, that's how consciousness works and shit. So it's like, well, let's use that to figure some shit out.
And what Taylor Swift, when she came into the picture, now that she's so magnified, she's too big for the NFL. And I was talking to somebody. I said, Taylor Swift is bigger than the NFL. And they said, no, she's not. I'm like, man, she performed in 18 of the NFL stadiums, sold them out. Like, no fucking NFL team besides the Packers are like that because they're just that community-funded, you know, you can't get tickets at the Packers. It's one of the stadiums you can't. So with that being, now the Taylor, Yeah, she couldn't headline the Super Bowl. She's too big. Nobody, it'd be too much. She can charge. And the other thing, why she's bigger than NFL, because they can charge any amount of money. NFL has a restriction. It's just the public that can drive up the prices. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But her fucking prices are pretty elaborate. They're much as Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah.
And that's a normal show. Imagine if she was the Super Bowl. There would have been. I don't know what they could have. They would have probably had
$20,000.
We're talking Swifties, man. She would have.
Dude,
paid,
they would have
you know
paid.
What she would do? She would have probably
Oh
paid for
my
all the
God.
Swifties to come to the stadium. Like every Swifties going to the Super Bowl. Like she locks down all the tickets, and only family from besides the Kelseys. They probably got hundreds of connections that they all go to the game. So what that is. Yeah, Taylor's too big for the Super Bowl. She gonna be there. Usher's performing, and obviously, they've had some songs together. So, yeah, I just can't see it getting any bigger than this, and it's enough. Taylor, give us our NFL back.
Yeah, I know.
Stop going to the game. Stop saying you're going to go to the game. Don't even give people because then ticket prices are already going up.
That's true.
If there's a word that she's going to be there,
I bet
it's free for all the people that are going to capitalize on that derivative of how much money.
I mean, that would be a really fun thought exercise to rabbit hole into the Swiftyverse. Just put the shoes on of the Swifty and get immersed in I'm sure they have a Swifty
and they would come up with Super Bowl uniforms, fucking Taylor Swift colors.
I was going to ask you, when are we going to see the Taylor Swift Chiefs jersey?
If they put the Chiefs back in the Super Bowl, I mean,
there's got to be an NFL jersey coming out.
Is this Patrick? See, Taylor Swift's bigger than Patrick Mahomes. Nobody gives a fuck about him. All they care about is Dad. Who should I bet on? Travis Kelce. That means you're betting on the Chiefs. You're treating these kids on how to influence. They're gonna bet every time the Chiefs are gonna lose. Teach them flat, and then they're gonna be in tears. Daddy promised that they were gonna win. False promises, Kid, tell your kids. I promise you're not gonna get hurt. I promise. You're giving false hope.
Sports betting
that person's gonna go
might be good for kids. Have their asses handed to them.
It'd be good to teach it.
Right.
If I could sit down versus what fucking going on TV and the kids are betting it, or they're all betting the Chiefs.
Dude, it'd be so good.
The Chiefs are making money for the sports bettor this year. It's strange, bro. It's usually the opposite. When there's all this money that comes in on the Chiefs, they come up with a way to not cover. They are dominating the betting market based off of all this chaos because the sports books and DraftKings can afford to take a hit on losing with the Chiefs, but they can take it out on the other 15 teams that they are rigging already, even to make it more blatantly that, hey, if you bet the Chiefs, you're okay, but if you bet the fucking Cowboys, you're fucked. It's an example. So
that was interesting. So I did a little research because I was wondering, how come people don't, there's got to be NFL teams that just win, their winning percentage is over 600 all time, right?
Patriots.
So if you just bet on every game.
The Patriots for 7 years that you would win, 80% of the games. If you took the Patriots, it was the season where they went 16-0, and then they lost to the Giants as a 17.5 point favorite. Imagine that. You go in and they were covering all the games that year. They went 16-0 and they covered 14 of the games, meaning they won and they covered. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
But for 6 years, if you would have bet the Patriots every week $100, you would have made 75 to 85% on your money just on one team.
Yeah.
But that's not how gamblers do it. They won't look at it that way. That's like a mutual fund. You take one team. If I would have done that, I would have took the Chiefs 4 years ago, every game and nothing but the Chiefs. That's why die-hard fans but they don't bet. They bet with their heart. But they might bet $100, $200. But I'm talking the person that does it for a living, they'll fucking bet 10 dimes, 10,000 a game on the Chiefs every week, knowing that, I'm going to lose week 2, but I'm going to win the next 7 weeks. Fuck it.
So I found some interesting results. Now, if I ask you, who is the winningest team in NFL history?
The winningest team in NFL history.
Now, this is going to blow you away, I think. I think they've scored maybe I shouldn't say this, but I think they might have scored the most touchdowns too. It was some interesting stats, but yeah, the most winningest team in all of NFL history.
I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
No.
Okay.
You should know this. It should stand out to you because it's like it's like the most unique team in
Because
the
like
NFL.
Bills lost 5 Super Bowls in a row, I'm thinking they must have been pretty up there with the touch.
If I said it was the most unique team in the NFL, would that give it away?
The most unique team.
It's like the only team of its kind. No other team is like this. Like no other team can say the things that this team says.
49ers.
No.
Not even
Green Bay.
The Packers.
Yeah, like the one team that can't leave Green Bay.
Can't. Publicly
It's
owned.
the winningest team in NFL franchise history.
And the first Super Bowl.
And I think it's second to the Chicago Bears.
Interesting. Look at how far the Bears have fallen.
Dude, how fucking interesting is that?
And that's, what's interesting about that one is they're the smallest state. They're 150,000 people.
Green Bay and Chicago?
Yeah.
I was fucking floored,
same
man.
division, too. That must have
Yeah.
been a rivalry
I was
that-
like, they're
that went back.
basically next door to each other.
Yep. Huh.
I was floored because
I'm floored
I was
too.
looking like, okay, so I was looking San Francisco. I was like, have they actually, because I think I said falsely, I was incorrect, is that the 49ers have not really been a historically like winning team. I look back at their seasons and it was like, no, man, they would go like 3 to 5 seasons not really having a great season, and then they'd go 3 to 5 seasons, they just happened to win a fucking Super Bowl in that one, in some of those ranges. And those were just happened to be when I was a young kid. So I had this impression that they were just, and really if you look at most teams, they're not over 600. It's like right at about 600. Like it's not like, wow, one team is, like way ahead of the others. It's more like their win-loss for all of them is pretty goddamn even. To the point where I was like, well,
5 good
in the
seasons,
history
5
of
bad.
this, if you're going with all of these statistics, the patterns would be pretty easy to start breaking down. You could start seeing, well, how many year cycles have they gone on, and you could attribute that to certain changes in the game and this and that, and you could go down that path. But what was actually really interesting is it's like you not at one point in history could you have picked one team and been like successful. You would have pretty much always only ever broke even or lost.
Yeah.
I thought that was like that attributes to how rigged it actually is, because how could every team be so fucking similar?
Because you balance it out. You got look at the major marquee teams, NBA, baseball.
It doesn't make sense
and
based
then
on like
NFL.
real talent scouting and coaching. Like certain programs would just develop better than others, and you would just have better teams that fucking win. But it's not.
Nope.
It never has been like that, and that part does not make sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it just does not make sense, y'all. And it points to it being so easily fucking scripted that they can take every game either way. That's what the whole statistics of that I could see on the win-loss for every team.
That's why you have these dominating, 12-4s and all that, or 15, and those big Chiefs, the Eagles. But there's dynasties. The Eagles. First of all, the Jets came out of nowhere. Aaron Rodgers came in, and when I picked the Discord pick for the Jets plus 6.5, I was like, okay. I was like, is Aaron Rodgers going to come back this season? And I'm like, what's the probability? I'm thinking 70% chance that he will make an attempt to come back. He'll be in the practice. They'll be like, Aaron Rodgers, questionable week 10, week 11, and then all of a sudden week 13, they're 2 games out of fucking the division or whatever. Here comes Superman. Nobody saw it coming. That could be part of it. But then again, The Jets are just one of those teams.
It
People
has to
are
be part
rooting
of it.
for Buffalo. They just love Buffalo for some reason. Because DeMar Hamlin, all that kind of like puts people at a. If it's the Bills, are like, okay, if we get beat by the Bills, it's okay. Like the Bills get a pass.
So what does
The
that point
Jets
to?
get a
That
pass if
points
they beat
to-
a team.
Okay.
But then it comes down to
I had a
Because
thought. I
New-
gotta start taking notes too. I'm
New
sorry.
York baseball is dead. There's no hope in New York. Nobody, no Yankees, no Red Sox, no Mets, none of that. So now it's the Bills and the Jets. That's keeping New York happy,
Okay.
and that's the way. And the Jets
Keep
don't
them
even play in New York.
entertained, right? Keep them
Entertained, keeping people.
entertained.
And then you bring Rodgers back in the picture. Taylor Swift's out of the picture for 4 weeks. Now we're focused on Rodgers. Imagine that. Rodgers in the Super Bowl playing
Swifty?
the Chiefs.
Taylor Swift?
The Aaron Rodgers.
Sorry, every time you say the Chiefs or
Yeah.
anything, I just think Taylor Swift. I can't even.
So
Why
I'm
is
thinking
Peter
that-
choking Leslie or Lois out there? What's happening on that? Oh, it was a fake Lois,
Hey, Peter.
but there's still a body in the bathtub. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, that was a funny Family Guy episode. Very funny.
They get away with whatever they want to say.
Dude, they did get away with like,
Everything.
dude, like cartoon murder right there. Like, what the heck? They get a pass, Kev. They
Yep.
get, speaking
Like
of
I
getting
said, the
a
Bills
pass.
get a pass when they beat a team, and the Jets. New York gets a pass right now. Their baseball's done, and then that's where we are with the football.
To expand on the Aaron Rodgers thing in New York, they had, it's interesting they have him take the fall at the beginning of the season. So like you said, they can take the rest of this season and be like, well, he's in recovery, have him show up. I saw he was throwing some passes.
We're tired of the Chiefs being 10-1 at that point. We don't care about the Chiefs.
Right.
We're tired of the Chiefs. We need a storyline. Christmas, fucking
right.
Thanksgiving. We got the holidays, family. It's going to change.
Then
the
they can
entire
bring the Jets
shift.
kind of back in,
The entire
and
shift
it
of-
changes the it
entire-
changes the betting spreads because when Aaron Rodgers is in the
Aaron
game,
Rodgers comes back, the Jets are going to be favored to win the Super Bowl.
because then everybody thinks, well, Aaron Rodgers can drive down the field at the
Aaron
end of the
Rodgers
game.
Last year, he can't get injured again, so let's hand him a Super Bowl. That's what they did Tom Brady for.
Well, or-
they did Tom Brady on the Super Bowls because of that.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is now that he's either this year or next year.
That makes- see, that's- yeah.
With an injury.
that's what I was thinking is they brought him, or they have him take this fall at the beginning of the season. They do as Kev said, they're gonna take all this, maybe this entire season, to kind of build him back into the narrative, right? Maybe he'll play some games at the end of the season. Maybe he'll actually maybe they'll be playoff prospects, and Aaron Rodgers will hit some fire at the end of the season, but they won't win, right? They'll get knocked out, and then they have the narrative for the Jets because, well, he did so well. It's like you said, Kev, next season they can bring him in
And make it all.
and make it all happen. Like then Jets are
And
actually Super Bowl contenders,
And I don't.
and then it would be back to an East Coast Super Bowl next year. That makes fucking down. See, now we're thinking like a little bit of more long term.
You got to look at the picture. What is best
Exactly.
for the NFL?
What
I
is
always
best
think
for
at
the
the end of
NFL?
mine when I pick a game for my official pick. I'm looking at. I got 3 games. The Vikings was a game I was going to pick. I was going to pick the Vikings as how I told you I have 3 games, and I circle one.
Yeah.
Vikings was one, and then of course the Jets, and then the other one was would have been a win, but that's irrelevant. But I had to look at what's the best for this scenario. The Jets beating them. I mean, why not? It's fucking gives something people to talk about. Mm-hmm. So that was just one little thing. But then again, I could have backfired on me. Maybe the Jets are completely out of the picture. They're just done. Aaron Rodgers retires, and then a whole new thing shifts. Next year, it's somebody else.
I can see why
Because
people were like, oh,
I don't
man.
see them putting the Kelsey brothers
Jets
back
over
in
the
the Super Bowl
Bills?
together. We don't need to see that. I don't put one of the other. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see another matchup like that.
Nope.
Not in Vegas. We need to see somebody like the Bengals, The Dolphins, oh my God, the Dolphins East Coast went into the West and just they've completely destroyed. Bro, they're on pace to score. How many points is it? So let's say it's 40 a game times 15, 30. They're just on pace to score like 900 fucking points or something. It's unheard of. They're the only team that's scoring covering the overs themselves.
Really?
70-20 was a prime example.
I didn't know it was
They covered the over by triple.
I should
like
probably
42 and a half, that bitch went to 70. Like,
I think I might have. I might. What I'm considering now is diverting a little more attention from trying to get my picks right, because that's not necessarily that important. As important right now, because we can prove that the NFL is rigged without me doing that. I think I liked to demonstrate that I can do it. So if we need that in the future, what I'm thinking is, I'll expand on that later. We'll circle back to this part later, but now I'm going to forget what I was saying. What was I kind of saying before that, Kev? Remind me what I was saying.
With the Jets and the Bills, the Super Bowl.
Fuck!
Like, I picked the Aaron Rodgers coming back.
How did I start that whole thing? How did was I just...
You were talking about the East Coast, something with the... Look at the... They need.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be diverting attention from that and then putting it more into watching some of these details and watching more football, basically, paying attention to more, because some of these narratives you're talking about, I don't know, and I realize right now that why I haven't paid so much attention is because I've been saving the energy to put it into getting the right pick, and since that's not as important now, okay, just kind of like speaking out loud, so to share my thought process. So that's always been an important part of this podcast, is to share the thought process.
Trust the process. But your ass belongs to the
But your ass. So this game is like it's
after the first
dude.
quarter.
It's a bit of this annoying gnat right now. Like things keep wanting to pop off. They popped off 2 touchdowns early in the game, so it's basically 0-0. And then we've been watching this like nothing burger again.
And I don't want to hear Troy Aikman and Joe Buck talk like they're on EA, like your EA Sports fucking game. They say the same script that EA Sports is using. You know, on the EA Sports, they throw a play, they say, they come up with these funny knee-jerk like lines but they're not. They're not funny, and it's
these little
EA
quip
Sports.
lines.
Like
yeah.
one of these little, and Tony Romo, I give him 8 days to Sunday anytime to broadcast, because that guy, he ain't Troy Aikman guy. He's just a stagnant cowboy lover. You know, he all talking about the Cowboys and all the history stats and all the Super Bowl.
Dude, he's not even engaging to watch speak. Like, you think that somebody like Troy Aikman would be like really engaging,
I've been fucking snooze
and charming.
I couldn't watch a game. I used snooze fest.
Very like present and stuff like that. That's what I would think Troy Aikman would be like. But no, he's just like like Kev said, he's a snooze fest.
There's something going on, but hey, good for him. The World Series coming up, so
like we said last episode, they roll those 2 out of the fucking closet and basically dust them off. like when they plug them in when they're done with them. You roll them in the closet, plug them in, take them back out. This week I see they're wearing a couple different suits, so they did actually change their clothes.
Yeah.
What's this show?
So you
okay.
So somebody was asking, somebody goes, "Hey, Kev, what's a sharp? You know what a sharp is in gambling? You know what a sharp is?" Somebody said
A sharp or
sharp.
A shark, like
Nope.
a shark in bloody water,
Like a
or like
sharp.
a sharp fucking knife.
A sharp knife.
Okay. Do I know what a sharp is?
Yeah, like if you was at a sports book and somebody said that guy's a sharp.
Dude, I would have been like, sharp is a fucking adjective, dude.
And that's in most cases what the response would be. But since it's a gambling cast and people that know this or don't know, So what a sharp is, it's a bet. It's a better. Sharp is a better, or a group of people that will use sports betting as a professional money-making endeavor. Sports betting sharps are not betting for recreational purposes or to enhance the entertainment level while watching an event. Instead, they are in it to try and beat the sports books for a profit. Sports books hate sharps, but they can also use sharps as an advantage. So let's say I run a sports book, and I know you hit 10 in a row, but you're consistently hitting 10 in a row or lose 2, win 10. You could be classified as a sharp. So you could use that information. What do you know that you're winning with? Well, then you could give them some information. They could be like, okay, we need to move our line to adjust to that because we didn't see that.
It's the sharpest
Sharp.
of sharps,
Sharp,
bro.
like a sharp.
Sharp, fucking sharp.
So that's what a sharp. I'm a sharp, meaning like I'm usually on the side
sharp.
where the public is not even aware of
That's
what's going
fucking
on this
great.
other side.
I love this adjective noun thing.
So if you ever hear, what's he do?
Wait,
He's a
wait,
sharp.
adjective pronoun thing. You know, fucking shit.
So you won't find a lot of sharps unless you hear it from a
Yes.
casino manager. They'll be like, "Yeah, that guy." There's no sharps in blackjack betting. There's no sharps, or not even in poker, because there's good poker players that use the theory, modern poker theory. Like they know like what their outs are. They know odds. They know they're very good. They're good with statistics. Poker players that play professionally are very good with analytics. They're very good at understanding where's my next out? What can I do to manipulate this next play? How can I put all my chips in without giving away my bluff tail and putting me on a flush when I'm on a flush draw and this guy's got 2 pair? That type of psychology is not a sharp. A sharp is only in sports betting. It means the guy's on sharp side. He's like, the guy is a sharp. And the bookies, when they write down the winners, they'd be like they'd highlight somebody and say that's a sharp because they would be winning. Now they would be like, okay, who do you know? But back in the day, it would be more like that person knew if the quarterback, he knew inside information from the trainer. He knew inside information from the kicker. He knew his inside information from somebody that was there cleaning up, it was a trash man. Somebody there that was holding the Gatorade bucket for the Super Bowl. Like the guy knew what color the Super Bowl color, like all this inside information.
Will they stop taking bets from sharps then?
Absolutely,
because
they will cut
fuck,
the
you're just
sharps
gonna
off.
cost me money.
They will. They put you in a database. That's why you go to sportsbook and you're winning. You're putting a database, bro. If you're betting $1,000 a game, they'll cut you down to fucking $100 a game. I know people that have been banned from sport, meaning they are on a list. That's why old school bookies, they'll take your action because they'll use the sharp action to go to another place and place the action where they're allowed to. They ban sharps on that instance. But if you go to like in Las Vegas, certain books like Circa, they will take any action. They don't give a fuck who you are. If you're sharp, fucking bring it.
They don't care.
But
They
if you
just
go
have a
into
big
another
enough
sports book,
bankroll.
they'll be like, nah, you're on the Caesars
on the
ban
list?
list because you're too good. Imagine that. You're too good of a gambler, they're going to fucking kick you out. You're too good at blackjack, they close the
Yeah,
table.
I can
You're
see
too
that
good at
happening.
something. The casino already has an edge, but they don't want to lose. They don't want to fucking lose. Sportsbooks are the worst losers because they don't want. If you hit a parlay, they got to verify that.
Shit, they
How
rigged
the fuck
the
did you hit
goddamn
an
game.
18 parlay?
Those
Like
fuckers.
nobody hits that, and they got to validate that you didn't like put the bet in after the game was over. Like, and then they'll ban you. They
Yeah.
put you on a list. How fucked up is that? Slot machines, you ain't ever on a list. There's no such thing as a ban list for slot machines.
That's exactly what
Unless
would
you're on
fucking
inside
happen to me.
information and you've got the code to the machine and you know how to hit it.
That's
But then
what
you've got to
I-
act with the role that you had a magical jackpot, change your life. So sharp is somebody that is sharp with the sports betting. A lot of there's some out there. There's some that advertise that they're sharps, but they're fucking falsifying what they're doing. You know, they're falsifying and they're bringing out people to pay money for their picks, and they're fucking losers.
Yeah.
They have no backing. And here's one example of how you can scam people out of fuckloads. There's so many ways back in the day before the internet, but this one in particular sticks out to me. So you got some asshole on wherever, he's advertising won $50,000 on a parlay bet, or he won this. So what these assholes do, they usually do it with a game. They'll be like, okay, they'll go to one sports book and bet $10,000 on the Detroit Lions. Let's say Detroit's playing the Vikings, -3.5. They'll go 10,000 at one sports book, get a ticket. It says Vikings -3.5, 10,000. Okay, on one side. They go to another sports book, 10,000 on the Lions at +3.5. So now you got 2 tickets. One's a winner, one's a loser. You're going to lose a little bit with the juice, meaning you're going to lose $100 if you lose. It's just the tax that goes to the sports book for when you lose. But you can take that winning ticket after the game's over and look, I'm fucking on 9-0. I just cashed out for 10 grand on the money line or the spread. You can make up whatever you want. And that's false advertising, because then people are like, holy shit. They start getting into it, and they'll go over and over until they show a proven track winning after the fact the game's over. Unlike me, I put the pick up before.
Right.
These assholes go on and they'll post back date what the thing was to make it look like it was before. Take a picture of them at the sports book. It's fucking exhausting. So that's one. And if anybody out there is paying for a tout, and they tell you the game of the year, fuck, you're dealing with somebody that's going to scam in one way. They're going to show you 88% on 3 games, but then they're not going to show you where they only hit 20% for a month.
Right.
They're only going to show you the glamour, the watches, the falsifying that, and then they get all these followers, and and it's just brainwashing the entire hope of somebody that knows the inside information, because these assholes will be like, hey, my so-and-so knows the trainer. Like, they'll come out with this, I got the inside information that I already know the outcome of the game. I got the script already. They'll use these fucking layman terms, but it tells people there's hope.
However they snake oil sales you, they just lie.
Yeah.
That makes sense too. I get it.
Because think about this one. This was before technology. In the old school days, you would just make up stats. No credibility at all except sales and closing the sale. Always be closing. The degenerate gambler sees a parlay of the week, game of the year, game of the century at an 85% win rate. There's something spooky with that right off the bat. But in reality, the good salesman will just tell you, hey, all this information, the quarterback's on coke, the star kicker is on the fritz, all these lies to buy picks or packages to get guaranteed winners, bro. These people say guaranteed. Imagine I put guaranteed. Fuck that. That's your fault. There's no guarantee. This isn't like it breaks, you come back and you get a replacement, you know?
Imagine if you could start a rumor that
guarantee.
somebody has a fucking injury or something, right? Yeah. Even if it's just within your fantasy league. Oh my God, the conniving and...
So then you would run something like, you would advertise in the paper. Back in the day before internet, you would have ads you could post on a Thursday morning. Hey, you get these degenerate players that read the paper. So you got player A named Tom. He calls the number. You find out how much they bet, how much this. You build a rapport with them, and then you tell them, hey man, I'm hitting 90%. You know, you give some trust into them. But then that person goes on and takes what your information is, and if they win, they call you back. If you don't, they lose, you try to call them back and be like, hey, give me another chance. But you hook them. That's what they do. They use these, you're going to be one way or another, and these scammers out there, it's unfortunate. People are buying into that shit, and it makes me upset because it's just whatever, man.
It's very predatory, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah. There's a video game channel that put out a video that started to point out why aren't video games getting like better like we thought they were gonna, like
becoming more addicting.
Well, we're seeing games get released where they're not finished and they're full of what's called microtransactions. So what they do in these games, Kev, is they put in like cosmetics. Some games it's even pay to win, like pay to move your character faster through the game or something, right? And what it does to these kids, it's probably even, I don't know if it's worse than sports betting, but dude, it is driving these kids and these youth and even people, not just kids, like to spend ungodly amounts of money on digital shit that they can't even wear themselves. Like, can you imagine paying $40 for your fucking video game character to look a certain way?
Oh.
Versus like paying $40 for a hoodie? I mean, you can't even, like, I'm gonna spend $40 on that hoodie way before I'm gonna spend $40 on a fucking video game so I can look cool. But that's what's happening, man. And they're charging like I said, $40 for a fucking skin, just a cosmetic skin in a video game. Well, $40 betting on your fantasy league with your buddies. It's like, I don't want to segue onto the video game thing too long because it's like, well, that's a different subject and issue, but it's probably happening in EA Sports games too, where it's like the game's not getting better. They're just monetizing the shit out of it with all these fucking microtransactions that don't even roll over into the next year. So you buy all this shit for one game, and then you go to Madden 2024 or 2025 Taylor Swift edition.
Yeah.
And after that, dude,
she's pregnant.
In 26,
she got a pregnant belly with twins.
In 26,
You know that them twins would have to be a boy and a girl,
You
and
don't
they
get
have to be named with the letter T. So I got to think of unique Taylor, Travis and Taylor combination names. I'm getting the names ready for. I'm already naming the names.
Tavistock.
They're going to be odds. It's going to be a boy or girl. Motherfucker, it's going to be twins.
Tavistock.
One of each. Gotta have that. So yes.
Yeah. So, oh my God. Yeah. So basically, you wouldn't be able to take your Taylor Swift jersey into Madden 2026. You'd have to buy it again. Mm-hmm. So, just to kind of make the correlation there, we're seeing really the same kind of tactics again, the same patterns and algorithms being used on video gamers, just like you see in the casino environment. And like Kev said, they're making those fucking video games not necessarily more immersive right now. They're just, they understand the dopamine hit.
Oh, the scarcity loop behavior is what it's called.
Scarcity
it's video
loop
games,
behavior.
it's social media.
Exactly.
I mean, look at that Red Dead Redemption 2. Bro, that shit is like some shit going on over in Israel. Like, that's some barbaric shit that it's like, my God, it's in the video game. And people get that dopamine on that. Like, fucking throwing people off a bridge.
That's right.
Hanging people.
They've seen it in the video games. They've seen it in all the war movies.
And then when they hear about it in real life, they're like, what the fuck is really going on?
They take the movie scenes and they move it to the news. Yeah. And then they change the style that it's presented, right? Live television has a different style than a movie does, right? You all know the templates. Just like live sports has a different feel to it.
Way different. Sound, too. Sound and feel. God, it's so strange. Bass, all of it. All that noise to comfort you. All the noise. That's, you know what they put on ESPN for the bad beats? Like people that would lose a fucking bet based off of a last second fumble recovery to a touchdown. They play this really soft music and around the key of C. Just like people that are watching it, they're like, oh, I feel comfort now. I saw how bad the beat was. Now I'm going to go next week and try it again. Yeah. And it's a scarcity loop. It's that scarcity loop behavior. And I also call it a syndrome because it's motherfucking there. People get soul sucked into it.
I think, yeah.
Slot machine.
It develops a syndrome. Yeah. I think that's definitely true. And I can feel it, dude. I can feel it in myself. Like, the scarcity loop when it's like, okay, I don't have anything to do right now. Well, why are all these chat rooms not popping off? You know, why is nothing happening? And when in those moments where nothing's happening, it's like, I think I get those glimpses where it's like, oh my God, dude, all of our free time that we used to have.
With that asshole.
Yes.
It's fucking
James
not even
there.
him, obviously.
All the free time that we used to have has now been taken up by all of those things that introduce those scarcity loops that get you into that into that. I want to call that some kind of syndrome. We should make that a name.
It's behavior, man.
Some kind of syndrome, because I like to be able to refer to that.
I'm sure there's something out there. Scarcity loop behavior.
Well, I'll think of something.
Subconscious, it's there too for the majority of the masses.
Right, and it's like
That's anything, dopamine, anything
that stuff really drives our subconscious behavior to where we are, where we go, what we're thinking while we're there. It's like all sorts of stuff like that. Like whether you're content in the moment or if you're anxious. I think a lot of people, I think that scarcity loop really, really, maybe we could call it an anxiety syndrome, actually.
It's some sort of thrill, some sort of adrenaline,
It's
some
something-
sort of
it
hope,
occupies
some
your
sort of
attention.
something that could change your life in a positive way, but it's off of a flip of something, gamble,
it
numbers.
occupies your attention in that moment of scarcity, that scarcity loop, right? So once you're presented with scarcity, what do? Well, I look to fill that void. So you'll see the women are super like, I don't want to say robotic, but syndromatic, like robotic syndrome almost, where they're almost like they get the robo syndrome. Maybe that's what we could call it, the robo anxiety syndrome. What do? They reach for their phone. Occupy my thoughts, they say. Think for me. Because what is that the moment of scarcity? It's a moment with your own thoughts. It's a moment alone, right? It's a moment of the absence of something. So I guess we can't really say that it is a moment alone, but really what that can kind of boil down to, or ultimately lead to at least, or resemble, is a moment alone where your state of mind is checked, like, what's next? What do you do next? And then it searches for, well, what's going to make me feel good? And that what you're going to do next is a result of how you've conditioned your brain and body. Fucking fascinating, Kev. I was just
gambling.
Fumbalea.
Gambling definitely has a play in all that when it comes to, especially the connotation that comes from everything that with the negativity that results from all that. It's not healthy.
No. I think even the positivity is negative.
It's false positivity.
Right,
it turns out bad.
Yeah, it's false. It's not with a person. It's coming from a computer screen. So really, it's almost like you're always self-gratifying because that other person is not there. They may be typing words on the screen, but you cannot hear them. It is totally like a very reduced engagement.
Very.
So
that's how communication's done anymore.
Shoot, man.
Got to be via text, but
oh god, that peels back like another layer of this scarcity. How they're like using that scarcity loop, like they're even taking away the things like, because normally you would go hang out with a friend. Now you just fucking text a friend. Normally you would go see a friend, or even if you don't want to talk to them, but you just go see them. Now you just take a selfie and post it on Snapchat. Right?
And then you get alerted, and that gives the whole shit.
Right? And when all that goes away and you're presented with your scarcity loop again, you do the same fucking thing over again.
Because that's that's all it is, bro.
Oh my god. Combine that with the nutritional shit, and it's like we have a whole synergistic fucking system right now where it is catering to manipulation, basically. Yeah. Wow. All that from the NFL being rigged, but why not? Why is the NFL rigged? Just for fucking entertainment purposes? That's dumb. No. It's for much different purposes than entertainment.
It's to give a feel. Everybody's involved in it. It's their team and their players. Everybody's held responsible for it. My team lost. My team this. Your team did that. It's all
My
this
religion,
blaming,
my that.
but they're not blaming. They're blaming another something that is out of their control. But when things are good, they're great.
Yeah.
When they're losing, holy shit. Talk about how upset people get over people lose friendships over sports.
So people are so busy. They don't know what theirs even means. Like what the real reality of possessing something even fucking means.
So, I was talking about a sharp,
Yeah.
You ever hear that?
Sharp.
Sharp. Do you know what a square is? Like that guy's a square.
I'd say the opposite of a sharp, probably.
Of course, it's a bettor that has negative connotation and refers to a bettor who is unconcerned about the numbers or odds. These gamblers may or may not recognize the value of numbers, but they don't have the discipline to seek out the best numbers. They bet with their hearts, hearing a friend's pick, parlays, teasers, props, live betting, first quarter, first half, second half. It's impossible for a team to lose 5 in a row, example. Same as roulette wheel. You ever walk in a casino, see a roulette machine, wheel, and with the numbers, there's a scarcity loop behavior that's triggered once you step and even see that roulette wheel. There's 12 reds hit in a row. See that? 12 reds hit in a row. Let's go and there's no way that it's going to be the 13th is going to be a red. There's no way. And that's where that behavior begins. And maybe you don't play roulette or not, but it's one of those people see it and they're like, the law of probability is it ain't going to be red next time. So what do? You bet against the house. Sure as shit, that could go red 50 in a row, just like a coin flip. Probability. But that's what the squares do. They look for, what their uncle said, what their brother said, what the news said. Same people do the parlays, give them that false hope, pretense. That's the squares, man. Those are the people that literally will hit 20% in a season, betting whatever they bet. They ain't betting one game a day. They're betting 10 parlays, 20 teasers. Oh, and by the way, they're putting in a DraftKings fucking prop bet that's 50 cents to pay out 10 grand. I mean, just square, normal. That's what the difference is. Most people are in that category. But they use that long shot value. It's a mentality. It's like a Powerball. When it gets $1 billion, God, you got to fucking play it. It sounds stupid. And that's that scarcity loop. See it? And it gets that dopamine. It's a light switch. That magically life will change if I get lucky with a number, a game. But, man, it's just bright lights and chaos that goes into the casino to get all that money. Scarcity loop behavior, man. Psychology. It's what they taught me if I got in a POW, if I was a prisoner of war, how am I going to get out of the situation without fucking giving up? They're going to kill you.
All right.
You can't give away secret stuff, information. So scarcity loop behavior is a very important role in psychology.
Yeah.
Sugar's another one we've been on.
Right, when the Coke commercial's right there.
Right?
Like, yeah.
That's that natural
synchronicity right there.
So that's it, man. Squares, sharps.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting. No, that makes sense that they would want to identify those two types of people.
Oh, they do, because they're like, all of a sudden, let's say you're a square and you're in the system. You hit 20%, all of a sudden you hit 8 in a row where you're getting your information. Now they're going to fucking question you. Imagine that. You all of a sudden go on a winning streak and they flag you. They cut you down. You can't bet no more because they know you're getting picks from somebody that's banned.
Right.
Like, that's the problem with, if you know that a game's fixed. Imagine I got a phone call from somebody that bets, they only bet $100, but they call me out of nowhere. And they're like, hey man, can I get 100,000 on the game? Well, first of all, what do you know? If they like, I got a fixed game.
Right, yeah.
Okay, well then it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that? Am I going to go and bet $1 million because you bet 100,000? How can I bet that much without getting flagged, first of all? So the inside fixed info, to have the actual guarantee, like it's a lock, man, it would take you hundreds of people to spread that out through sports, throughout bookies, throughout casinos, through DraftKings, and they probably flag you if your IP address matches somebody in the same household. That type of shit.
Oh man.
So that's I squares, man.
So hockey has started yet?
Hockey has started.
Okay.
NBA starts next week. Next Tuesday.
Okay. Interesting.
When I was 21, I went to Vegas for 21. When I went to Vegas for like my fourth time, I was out there for a contracting thing going on, a convention at the Las Vegas Hilton. Used to be the biggest sports book on the strip. This is back before 9/11. This is back when there was no technology where you go into a sports book and they $500 was like a big bet there. They didn't take big action. But what I found out a way to do was I would pick up all these parlay cards that were losers. You ever see them, like they're little desks in the sports book and people sit there?
Okay.
And after the conference would be over, about 10 o'clock, the games would end, and I'd go in the sports book because a bar was right there, and I would pick up these losing parlay tickets, and I'd take them up to the bar, and I would sit down at the bar, and the bartender would come over and be like, "You win any?" And I'm like, I bet like 100 of these damn parlays, knowing that they're losers, but I'm just the guy sitting there, trying, like the guy losing. He goes, "Do you think a drink will change that?" He's like, how much did you bet on a ticket? I'm like, "Well, this one was 15 on a 17 parlay, and I only hit 2. And he's like, "Okay, we're gonna get you a free drink." So I sat there for like an hour, talked to this guy. He told me old school stories about gambling, and he's like, them parlay cards are sucker cards. And I'm never forgetting him say that. He's like, "I can give you all the free drinks in the world. Ain't gonna change your parlay ever." He's like, "Nobody wins at these. That's why." And then at that point, I'm like, but these days, everything's all logged in on a computer, and you can't do that anymore. But I was before. I remember that, sitting at Sportsman, 21, no betting. I'm just got to go to the conference, sit down at the bar, and the bartender fucking free drinks. You ain't getting that in Vegas unless you have $100 on a ticket. And that ticket's got only first half. They give you a free drink. You get like 3 drinks max on a football ticket. Back in the day, if you had a pending one parlay ticket, they bring you drinks all nonstop.
Wow.
But that's back when drinking was one of the, now they make you pay for the alcohol and make you delusioned and make you go fucking nuts like those tourists that go to Vegas.
Yeah. I don't, it's after learning a lot about casinos since I've known you, I'll hear people talking in passing, and they'll say something how they got a free room, or they got free drinks, or something free from the casino. And I'm always like, yeah, fucking right, you liar. Or I'm like, I try to pay into a little more details, right? Like, where'd that come from? Because you ain't getting nothing you ain't even getting a fucking free buffet or a free drink these days at the casino. They're not just handing you out a bunch of free rooms because you're fucking cool or something. It's like, no, I know a guy who's cool enough and knows the people at the casino that if they just gave that shit out for free all the time, he would be one that would have pretty much free reign of whenever he wanted it. And that ain't how it is. So when I hear that these days, I'm just like, that sounds suspect.
It's very suspect. And the reason for that, a lot of it has to do with legality reasons these days. People fucking have money. They get a lawyer and they can fucking sue. Too much alcohol. That fucking casino knew that guy drank an entire bottle. I always say everything before 9/11 and after 9/11. After 9/11, everything fucking changed with everything. Everything. But just the alcohol in Vegas now, last time I was there, we got, he used to be, if you were sitting at a machine, you had to put money, you didn't have to put money in the machine, they'd give you a fucking drink, you're like waiting for something, give you a free drink. Now, if you're at a machine, you got to put money in it. The light has to stay on for so long, and you have to gamble $20 as an example. Minimum, you have to be sitting there and press the button, and you have $20 in at a minimum.
Yeah, you got to be playing a game or something.
And these are at the high resort casinos, the Venetian, the Wynn, Caesars, MGM, and they all now are regulating. First of all, if you get a drink, you get one beer, and you have to pay for it. That's $8 for a beer. It's not fucking $2. You can go Old Strip and probably drink very cheap down there, but this is the big corporate casinos. And then on top of that, if you drink too much and your lawyer says, holy Christ, you drank for 24 straight hours and the casino kept beating you, you lost $3 million, well, now we have a lawsuit. Because it's a casino's responsibility. But then again, Sin City, back in the day, it was no problem to get fucking completely blottoed, not even gamble at a casino. You're standing watching somebody gamble, you get free drinks. Just so you were in the casino, you get free drinks, free buffets. And the last time on top of that was when we was at the Wynn, staying there, no fucking comps. We used the girl's player's card because she's a high roller slot player. Run 100,000 through a card in 4 trips. You getting comps for that. But we had to show it because they gave us like a free buffet. The buffet at the Wynn, $69-$70 for a buffet, bro. You got to run 5,000 on a machine to get a fucking $69 comp. Good luck getting a fucking room.
Yeah. Exactly.
You used to get free rooms if you spent like over $1,000. I remember after turning 21, going to Vegas and gambling, 22, 23, they would send me the comps, fucking like free 3 nights or 2 days, 2 nights, 3 days, free stay. Stanton, you ain't getting any of that. It's bad of how much. The problem is they got to pay these workers so much money. They can afford the comps, but they don't want to give anything out anymore. The casinos hate losing. The limits are even higher now. Even if you want free drinks in Las Vegas, you got to sit at $25 a fucking blackjack hand. You could run $500 in fucking 2 minutes. I've seen it. You lose 10 in a row blackjack. You fucking run to the ATM, come back, and your drink's finally there. And she wants a tip. Understandable. I always tip free in case I run out of money. But I ain't gonna run out of money. You know what I mean? It's just a different way.
Yeah.
But then if you live in certain areas, you know where you can get the freebies. But Vegas is not what it was. It's not anything like what it was when I first went there when I was 21, 22, 20, even 30. It's about 10 years ago. Everything took over, the corporates and just how much it costs. You can go there for $50 on a plane, but Jesus Christ, you want to spend a week in Vegas and live luxury, you better bring fucking $5,000 with you. And I mean, we're going out every night eating fine dining. That alone is $200 for 2 people. $100 a minimum at a fucking Joe Eddie throw drinks in there. Those $22 a pop. It's fucking nuts, bro. The cost of living is going up, and the chances of even having fun and it's going down. People are gambling too. That's the other thing. God. So
they're promoting just straight degeneracy these days.
Just
whatever the fuck you want to do, just go do it. All super irresponsibly. But drink responsibly. What a fucking misnomer, right? Total fucking misnomer. Drink responsibly.
Gamble responsibility.
It's not even possible.
They got to put the gambling license, gamble responsible.
Gamble responsibly.
Can't be held responsible.
That's again. That's loses. Like I would look at that as that's not even responsible. Or not even possible. An act of gambling is not responsible. I don't know if anybody could convince me that gambling would be a responsible act. Responsible for what? To what? What would? There's no. That just wouldn't make any sense. Not saying I'm against gambling or that people can't gamble or people who gamble are irresponsible. I'm just saying gambling is not responsible. Just like drinking is not responsible. You can't possibly do it. Any bit is not a responsible amount. So
it's just one of those. Sports betting is a side hustle. Obviously, if people are going to do it. You got to do it for an actual living. You got to have a bankroll, number one, and you can't be relying on until a certain point. Like you can't be like, okay, well this season I won this. Well, I'm fucking done working. It's like poker, bro. Poker. You know how many poker tournaments some of these players have to go through? Some of these PGA Tour, disc golf tour. I'm sure there's people that you got to go through so much fucking, and you might not even make the top 50. But professional gambling is a fucking grind, man. There's only few people that are no shit making so much fucking money, either by fake selling picks or just having people that you're just that 1%er that has it all fucking figured out. Whether you're a poker player, whether you're sports betting and poker is the only 2 things in a casino where I have a statistical edge in a way. If I'm thinking the right blackjack, not so much. It's just those are the only 2 things. Poker is one of the worst because you're held responsible for your actions. Football, I'm blaming the refs. Like
Right.
tomorrow I'm okay, but then I'll have worries the next week about something that I saw in a poker. It's different.
Oh
Different
my
psychology.
God.
Way different. And I'm telling you, poker is gambling. Fucking no two ways about it. You can be so far ahead on the flop, turn, fucking river, out the door, fucking parking lot, see you later. And then you have a story, how you got crack pocket aces against fucking 7-4 offsuit because that guy was a fucking asshole. Decided to call you with nothing. You've been in the poker tournaments. You were like probably wondering what the fuck are these people doing?
Dude, I thought one guy was like casting fucking spells and shit. He kept like putting his mouth under his shirt like this, and then he'd be like, he'd fucking say mumble some shit, dude. I was like, it was disturbing, dude. I was like, you seem like you're here on your last fucking dollar trying to win money for your family or some shit. Like, I just don't know how you could be so attached or thinking that. And he did it like almost every hand or some shit. Like, I had to actively stop paying attention to it because I was like, dude, is anybody else seeing this? How fucking weird this guy is? He's like doing witchcraft over there or some shit. Like, are you guys just... That's just what it is at a poker tournament? Oh, fucking apparently. That's how it is at a poker tournament. You can sit there and craft a witch's goddamn brew. As long as you ain't touching or fucking around with anybody, you can sit there and brew up a fucking potion and then drink it. I don't know. It was weird. I'm trying to demonstrate how weird it was.
Yeah, poker players, they're unique individuals in that community. The poker community is one of those where everybody has a story. Everybody's been fucked over on the river. Everybody has that's one of the worst. When I was at the World Series of Poker for the 50th anniversary, bro, I was there to have a good time. I was playing in $500 buy-ins. I played in the 50th. There was 24,000 entries into the $500 Millionaire Maker, one of those big tournaments, bro. It was like $4 million for first. And I'm there to have a good time, right? These motherfuckers were so serious, like their fucking life depended on the turn of the next card. A flop, a turn, a river, and it was just like I got to see the scarcity loop firsthand with poker players because a lot of it is the people are doing on purpose just to be an asshole. Others are not giving away tells. Others are just trying to not fucking give away anything because there's a lot of psychology when it comes to the poker. And even at the World Series, man, these people are so fucking like just taking forever to make a decision, and it was just like, man. But I ended up, I got 300 place in that tournament. I got like $2,000 or something. It was the 50th anniversary, but it paid like 4,000 places because there was like 28,000 some entries. Anybody look that up? World Series of Poker 50th anniversary, and so yeah, I got to see that firsthand. And people they're just strange.
I watched Kid Poker. Have you seen that movie? It's a documentary about Daniel Negreanu.
Shout out to Daniel Negreanu.
Yeah, it was basically just a little quick documentary on him. I think it came out in 2015, but I saw it pop up on the feed, and I checked it out. It was it's interesting. It's interesting.
He's one of the few that, you know, he's got his story. Poker players that's the one thing I was going to say about it. Like, people always want to talk about how they got fucked over on the river. Dealer's fault. Shouldn't have called. They always blame, and then they want to tell you a story about how it's exhausting. It was exhausting at the World Series to be around poker players outside of poker. Like, I'm trying to eat a fucking lunch, and this guy wants to come tell me about how he played at the Borgata and got fucked over. I'm like, dude, I don't care about your poker.
Right, it's
I'm
too
here,
much at that
let's
point.
just not, and that's how that poker community is. Everybody wants to have an excuse for why they got fucked over with pocket aces. Motherfucker, it's gambling when you look at it.
Wow.
It's not ABC back before 9/11. There's no computer. It was ABC poker, man. You could bluff your ass off back then. They'd kill you with some of the old timers. You wouldn't you got to have a pair to open the fucking hand up. But Negreanu, very good story about him. That guy, he's psychology of poker. That motherfucker is like me with sports betting.
That's what. I think
he might be terrible at sports betting, but he's a great poker player. It's a different way of like your, processing stats.
I think I was watching that when I was thinking about all the stats and algorithm stuff, I was like, wait a minute. One of the things that they were saying about him, they were like, what he does is figures out how his opponents play, and then he's able to put himself in their shoes, and then he recognizes what they have based on their patterns of behavior. And then he what is he kind of famous for, like breaking down hands and talking it out? Like he gives you like analysis on the spot, and he's like, so you did this, which probably means you had this, and then when that card turned, I was winning, but then not so much. Yeah. And then he's fucking right or something. Yeah. I think that was a large part of it, the documentary. I'm like, but in all this, I had that other monologue going on where it was like, no, some of the stuff that Kev has said, like, I'm seeing this. Yeah. Like, I'm seeing this expertise, like, actually, well, like, come into fruition.
And I usually, like, the thing about Daniel Granu is, he
halftime, by the way, everybody.
He pieces things together that make completely no sense, but they do in the end. It's like one of those. He's got this knack to the way he talks to people. He reads not. He'd be great as an interrogator, because the guy, he can read basically through people's souls. Like he knows if the guy has aces, for an example, just situations like that type of stuff. And he's very, don't know what the other word to explain him. He's just, he was on a whole nother level. And he came up in the poker boom community when it was even before the internet. And now everybody's playing poker. And now it's becoming so tough in the game in certain ways, because people are playing so much loose of the poker game. But Daniel Negreanu invented the poker theory, where he taught that to a lot of people. But yeah, good guy, good story, and yeah, he's
well, he was saying the same thing about having a bankroll.
Because if you're scared money, you're gonna play like you're scared.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one thing he could pick up, because he can effortlessly go back up and rebuy, and it doesn't affect him. No emotions. But the person that only has $2,000 and they can only have one rebuy, they're gonna be scared of that, but they're gonna give that hope.
Yeah.
But then Daniel can go all in next hand, and then the guy has to fold his pocket fours.
Yeah.
So it's a different way. Bankroll, definitely, you can be a bully, but you can also be very effective. It's like chess. What pawn can I pick off this time?
He was saying that too. He was like, back home in the local games, you could just be a bully. You could just bully everybody out. But then once you get to Vegas, and they're like, yeah, we've seen this before. He's like, oh, I had to switch up my play. I couldn't just go in and bully every hand. Like I had to back off and learn how to approach it differently, because it didn't work. They were
optimal theories.
They have too much money, basically. Yeah. They can just see you out.
They see way more hands and.
Right. Yeah. They're like, yeah, we've seen that bully strategy before. It works in like small time games, but you're in the big game. You're in the big league now.
But he came on board back in the late '90s, mid '90s, where
about a perfect time.
Where it was. There's only like 50 people at the World Series of Poker. And Kid Poker came into town. He's the youngest poker player. Everybody else at the game was over 50. He was sitting with Doyle Brunson, who had passed now recently. And then he was sitting around these old timers that would play in saloons with guns and cash on the table, not chips. But he would start playing a different, it didn't work for him. But then he adjusted, and then all of a sudden this big poker boom came along, and everybody got excited over this Chris Moneymaker, who
Poker World Series
just completely changed. Online, everything changed, and then of course Daniel just went high in the scale of the poker, took it to a whole nother level, and fucking guy like Tiger Woods of poker, man.
Yeah.
Phil Ivey, another one, but Negreanu definitely. Definitely learned a lot from just little things that he's life, man. He's a fucking he's a very structured, got his shit together. Knows how to talk his way to things.
I want it to be legit,
very
I'm
nice.
suspicious of it, but they're able to cheat still, but and he's like one of their chosen cheaters type of thing. I don't know for sure. I'd like to just think he's totally legit for the moment anyway.
Yeah, so, kid poker, absolutely.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good watch.
Yeah.
Worth it.
I remember playing over in the Asian poker tour. Over there, I didn't know, like, because I was in a country where they didn't speak English, but it was English only at the table. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you understand that? If there's one English person at the table, it's English only. Because you can't collude. Because I'd be in tournaments in Japan, Korea, Cambodia, hanging out in countries where you would see a few Americans, but like English only at the table. So I always be wondering, are they talking to you? Like, am I getting fucked over here? Are you guys trying to fuck me over with your language? Like, what is he saying? But it was never the case. I would somehow still manage to collect some chips because they were like, the Americans are aggressive as fuck, you know? They don't want anything part of you. And the Asians, particularly at that time and era, were a very, very ABC poker. You'd get them to fold fucking 10 jack suited, you know? I'm fucking calling that just to see a flop. It was like structure. They were scared, so... but then you had the pros that came along and changed it all up. And
That's interesting too. Yeah.
Philippines, that was a big one.
Yeah, you can learn how to read that body language.
Yeah, I learned a lot of languages through poker.
Oh,
you know, just at Germany.
Interesting.
The only continent that I never got to go to, and I mean go to, not an airport, I mean living on, was Antarctica. But I did during an offer came down to go to Antarctica with tourists for the global warming. I was going to do weather pattern for to help them in research and just be there at their side and get to learn a fuckload of stuff. But it was like a year in Antarctica, and I talked to a few people like, bro, there's no insects up there. It's really a fucking cool people that went there. They're like, who else can say they went to Antarctica? It's like, you can fucking go for a year and you make so much money because there's nothing to spend. I was like, it's fucking cold there. And I just never pulled the trigger. They like, you got to give us, let us know. And I would have went to Antarctica for a year, bro, but I didn't.
That would have been.
It would have been so much fun. But I was going through a relationship, and I'm like, I'm gonna marry them, but I didn't, and kind of woulda, coulda, shoulda type thing. But instead, I ended up in Singapore, so I got to go to Singapore instead, which was not a bad deal. It was hot as fuck. They're humid as ever, very clean, very safe, and it's my world travels, man.
I wouldn't have thought that about Singapore just because of what we're told and how they represent other countries.
Clean, safe. Singapore. So I went to the hottest place, humid place.
Hold up. How was it compared to like fucking, regular London, England type of area? Because
it rains every day.
How about like just in terms of cleanliness? Because London, for me, was a bit dirty. Like a little bit dirtier than America. Like your pubs and stuff like that. Now, not everywhere, but where compare a dive bar to here to like a dive bar in England, it's like, I don't know, just a little bit dirtier.
Yeah. Singapore was very clean, but very strict on the laws. Just, no spitting, no graffiti, no loitering, no anything.
Okay, so it's cleaner than England and probably even the States then.
Very, very, very clean.
Interesting. I would have not thought of that.
Singapore, man, it's a rich, very rich country. A lot of import export goes through the southern tip down there, and
we in America, we are so fucking repressed.
But then you go one country over, like Bangkok, fucking total fucking third world, and besides Phuket, you go down to like the whatever.
All right, we don't get taught shit about how the rest of the world really is. Like, I think most of us think that the rest of when you hear the word Singapore, I bet most Americans think they don't think like cars driving on streets. They think people walking in like sandals and barefoot on like dirt or clay.
Yeah, it's like
like carrying baskets, like hand-woven baskets and shit like that.
Back in the day, it was a very poor country. Now it's one very, very, very rich country.
Yeah.
Their structure buildings are fucking blow your mind. They're like the United Arabics. You ever see them structures and the fucking stuff that they're building? Like, they're building an indoor city somewhere in Dubai where it's like 50 miles of city indoors.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's an indoor motherfucking city.
I think
And
I've
like
heard about
everything
that.
is there's all the it's so strange how they're coming up with this stuff.
Oh right, it's like all this stuff
Singapore
that.
was another one. They built this big. It's called one of the towers in fuck here, the Sands Bay, the Mariana Bay and Sands Hotel. When I went to Singapore, they were just building that, and I was like, "How
Sounds
the fuck?"
cool.
Looks like they put a big pirate or a spaceship on top of this, but it's a big like pool. It looks like a big fucking long, and it's sitting on top, and it's got 3 structures below it. I'm like, it's fucking blow
Sounds
your mind.
cool.
Yeah, it's a very interesting country. Yeah, Singapore, man. No fucking put you. They'll kill you for having like drugs. Fucking hang people. You have a pound
That's
of weed.
like that's insane.
Yeah, different ways though, different laws.
See, that's why I think that, because you hear stories like that where it's like, oh, it's like so strict, you think that it's like third worldish almost, and real poverty, like real controlled. But then it's like you get there and it's like, man, there's a bunch of money here, people are chilling, having a good time. I think that's kind of what I found when I traveled around the States. Is it was like people everywhere are really kind of the same. They're all doing the same shit. When you think about it, apply some stats and algorithms,
Yep.
we are all doing the same shit. We all are. Like in every fucking country, like all of our lives are pretty similar.
Well, I know that even like in Asia, Southwest Asia, Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, those countries all had one thing in common. They never slept for some reason, it seemed. And their markets were always open. The bars were always open. There was like party fucking central in Singapore. Like they don't close the clubs down there. Some of the clubs don't open up till like 10 p.m. midnight, like Vegas type shit. But they all have open markets. They all have like counterfeit. They're all doing hustling. They're all grinding. They're all selling stuff, and they all have that one thing in common. These markets, you walk in and you just see like stuff. You can fucking eat bug cart. You can get unique stuff that you would never see in America.
Wow.
So I always knew that when in Southwest Asia, I go if it's 2 a.m. you can go fucking somewhere. You can go to a bar. You can go. There's something going on. It's like New York City. It's strange.
What the fuck?
And then in the areas where the fish markets were, it's 5 a.m. Fresh fish coming in and like the market's going on.
So it just
big.
never stops. There might be like some lull from like fucking 2 to 4, but then it's like, then the fish guys are coming in. So it's like, wow.
Like they just never seem to shut down. It was strange when I go to Cambodia.
Sounds like areas of Seattle.
Yeah, it's like something's going on.
Yeah.
In America, you got to go to different parts, like
Yeah.
New York City, like those types of where everything's going on. Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, that Asia culture, just something about it. They work but even you go like Japan, the workers, like they work a lot, man, and they when I was in Japan, I was this girl's father. This girl I was dating, her father was one of the like construction managers. So his job was to drive around and make sure the workers were either taking a nap over their lunch hour because they got arrested. They're not taking a nap.
Yeah,
They get written up. They get written up, meaning like
If they don't sleep,
you get a
yeah,
demerit.
because then they're a liability.
It's like kindergarten shit where you got to sleep for doing between these hours because if you're not, you're going to be fucked up because we got to work 14 hours. But then the other thing is they don't fire people in Japan like these workers. They just stop giving them work to do. And if you're a worker in Japan, you have no work to do. You're fucking, there's no more because they delegate work to the people that are devoted to follow very structured, man. It's very, very structured in especially the Japanese culture. So, yeah, it's fucking nuts. In Italy, they do the same thing. They shut down everything from like 1 to 2, and everybody naps every day of the year. Like 1 to 2, you can't do it. It's fucking nuts.
Dude, I don't know if I like that or not.
It's strange. That's how they do it. Different cultures. They drink in Germany on their lunch break. Like it's like, you do that here, and your company's gonna get called. They're gonna be like, "Hey, you guys are over here drinking and fucking," and like they're like, Well, that's just what they do.
Yeah,
Oh,
it depends what company you work for. Fucking Amazon, they have a bar in their facilities. So if you're like stressed out or some shit, their supervisors will take you to the bar and they'll get you a drink. They'll sit you down to give you the fucking runaround that they give everybody, and alcohol and brainwash goes a long way. They probably even go as far to play some fucking binaural beats that we can't hear to make them feel a fucking certain way, or they're playing shit in the key of C or whatever.
they're strange.
You know,
man.
there's fucking such shit going on. I
Like,
saw that in Seattle when I was out there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I fucking turned them down and didn't work for them. It's because it's one of those places where it's like if you get in, you don't want to go. Like you're not gonna get. I shouldn't say that. You're not gonna get the opportunities or the benefits from other places, because I found that other places were way more rewarding than working at Amazon. I think I would have got stuck in it, you know. I would have like maybe tried to join the culture a little bit and made a career out of it, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yes.
Not putting people down that went that route, but man, Amazon is such a bloated, fat pig of a company. I don't really like it. We're in such a fucked world right now. It's like everybody's got to have a job somehow. It's like, I don't know.
Oh, stuff's getting overtaken. It's crazy.
Like Kev says, man, cost of living's going up, chances of living are going down.
Very going down. One student loan payment at a time. And the price is going up for everything. Fucking Caleb says rent going up fucking more. I'm like, this is fuck, man.
No shit.
Shit's $750 going up to $1,100 with no fucking improvements. Fuck off. Fuck these companies,
Wow.
man. These fucking greedy.
$400?
Just because.
Yeah, just because.
Just because everybody else is doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you can't go and live in New York for that price. Well, no shit.
Dude, that's
assholes.
so fucked. I'll be right back, everybody.
And give that whole excuse. Well, can't live in the West Coast, anywhere on that. So, it's unfortunate that our society is dictating the cost of living. Everything's going up. I mean, these stadiums for concerts or football tickets. Oh my goodness. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, they've got to change our ways as a culture. If you want to give up the student loan, just give up student loan, stop making them. I mean, that's a start. I talked to somebody that said, man, they got to pay their student loans off. And I'm like, we can just forgive it, wipe it completely clean, start over. But my nephews better not be able to go borrow $150,000, $200,000, whatever, to go fund into college for an investment that ultimately is not guaranteed, not backed by anybody. The loan borrowed is backed. You have to pay that back. But to use it as an investment, I think the way of college and our education system is absolutely going down in a hurry, and it's getting more expensive for everything. College this, college that. I mean, that's where we're at in our culture. They're making everybody stressed out. Unbelievable. So, what's 10 to 7? Keeping it low.
I have a brain freeze. Oh my god. Try to chug that down a little too quickly. Okay. So, we didn't take a break like we normally do for halftime. Third quarter, less than 9 minutes, 30 seconds left. There's still only 17 points on the goddamn board. Still 10 to 7 Dallas. Started out to be an exciting game. Then we got dog shit. So this will be a perfect time to segue into Jake the Asshole's YouTube channel again. because this is not the first time I've come across this guy. And naturally, when I come across somebody making claims that the NFL is rigged and this and that, and then I looked at his channel a little more and I found some actually Shape of the Earth material where he was like, okay, the globe is a cartoon fucking joke and something else is going on here. I was like, okay, shit, I got to look and see how long has this guy's channel been on YouTube? What are all the subjects he's talking about? Like, how far down the rabbit hole does this channel go? So I'm looking and I find that his channel used to be named The Flat Earth Asshole. And that at that point, I remembered who he was and when I'd seen him, because he'd also had some nutrition-related videos on there where he was talking to Sperrier and having the whole raw carnivore diet versus vegan diet thing. So I remember his channel from when I was doing that research, and that was, at least 5 to 7 years ago when I started doing that. So he was kind of around while I was doing that. Apparently, he survived the YouTube cleansing, purging, basically, of COVID, because his channel's still there, which, I don't know, man. Kind of makes me a little suspicious, Kev, of his channel. Anybody that survived the COVID cleaning, I don't know how your channel made it through that, man. Almost any channels that were questioning things or doing this or that
they were done.
Like, they were just
You were fucking done. And the election was going on. Jesus, what a fucking terrible time to be online.
You know what? I think the guy, I kind of have a little nickname for him. Like, he's the Mark Dice of the... He's like the Mark Dice. He just reminds me of Mark Dice, is what I'm trying to say. It's like if Mark Dice went flat earth and NFL is rigged type of thing, then you would have this guy. Kind of looks the same too, similar. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that because the guy's channel was interesting enough to where it's like, okay, you are sharing a lot of truth on your channel. I'm still not in the flat earth boat, as we've said on this cast many times, but obviously there's something going on with the globe where that is not making any more sense. I can see why people get stuck on the flat earth and they end up promoting that, but I don't know. I don't know if the guy is like controlled op or what. All I know is that there is a channel on YouTube with over 60,000 subscribers that are getting regular videos now about and examples of the NFL being scripted and rigged to a very, very high percentage. Like we were saying, 97.8%. That number might be shockingly accurate. So yeah, interesting turn of events. I just checked that out today, so that's kind of why it's fresh on my mind.
Shout out to rigged NFL script.
Yeah, shout out to Jake the Ace-hole.
It'd be good to get his thoughts on what our thoughts and crossing together. Imagine that'd be a good conversation.
I think it would be fun to go through the schedule like he was doing with them and just, rap on the narrative. Be like, what's good for the NFL? Because that's what the fuck's going to happen. And it's not always that clear or black and white. Like, sometimes it is what's good for the public, you know?
The public has to win sometimes.
That's right. You got to throw the dog a bone once in a while.
It just seems like they do it at the fucking
weirdest times.
Weekend,
when it's totally...
People got absolutely their asses handed to them in sports betting.
Right.
Nobody gonna have no story about winning. Nobody fucking won that bet more than...
Perfect timing, too.
5 games.
Because it's like an off week where it's like Halloween isn't quite here.
Sure knocking on its door.
School just got back in session, but didn't just start type of thing. So it's like this it's like a perf, dude.
It was a perfect storm for the weekend. What a mess.
I think if we could figure out a couple, not just a couple, like a few of the factors that they base these things around, we could really start to pick up on the patterns, and we could be able to tell more. We'd be able to see more of the narrative unfolding.
I can look at here's the thing. What I can do is, which it took me a while to start seeing the real clear picture of this NFL, the sports in general. NBA is no different. Baseball's tougher because it's every day, but football in general, it's once a week. When these spreads come out at the beginning of the week, I look at the sheet. I can circle like 5 games just off the number, knowing that, okay, the numbers are off on these. Just there's something about them. Why is this number this? It doesn't make sense. Why is this team at, all those, the first game of the year, Super Bowl champions returned? Like, they should have been an 8.5-point favorite. They were like 4.5.
Yeah, we called that out. We were like, what the heck?
And I was like, that number's so bad.
Doesn't make sense,
They're already,
right?
I said, the first game of the season, they want to corrupt it already. I'm like, look at this shit. Mm-hmm. And that's, even now, I can still see games.
Oh, man, yeah, exactly.
Like, why is this team this? Because, and then injury reports, all this stuff that comes back here. But that initial line, whoever writes those lines is like the creator of The Simpsons. It knows fucking what this score is, because these spreads are there for a reason. People think they can outsmart them. You can't outsmart them, but you can try to quantify your efforts and look for the misinterpretations in something. Every line has a value. There's a yes and a no to it, and maybe a tie. But in general, what is the public going to jump over? Holy shit, the Eagles just lost. They're going to win by 100 next week. The Dolphins beat the Broncos 70-20. They're going to win by 80 next week.
Yeah.
That's the type of line where it comes out. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it's there. And the people, the joke, the square bettors that are just circling and putting the bets into the sports book, and they don't, those are just they're just picking off of their heart.
We got to think.
Like, they went 0-3. Are they going to lose the next one? No way. They haven't lost a game at home in 5 years. That's the stats that are kind of irrelevant if you look at the patterns, because any fucking weekend can be changed. But you got to look at that line should be 3 touchdown favorite. That team, there's no reason why they should only be a 10-point. But that's the numbers that I look at that ultimately come up with some sort of like, okay, well, this is the best possible way for value. And if it goes the wrong way, that's fine. That's what it is. That's why I'm fucking lost 2 games, not perfect.
We got to think. We got to take all of that, and then we got to think in a way that we haven't thought before. To really to capture this pattern of this script, I think, because I don't think we're ultimately dealing with a human intelligence that, like, I just think there's non-human elements here that we're not taking into account because we're not used to doing that. So things that don't make sense, but they don't make sense in a human way. So that's what I'm saying. However the fuck that makes sense, whatever you want to turn what I just said into, it makes fucking sense. There's something going on that we're missing, and if we could account for it, if we could account for that variable, I think this might be more fruitful.
Yeah, it's a tough. They put this shit there, and it's just hypnotizing.
Why I'm saying that is because of some of the things you were saying to kind of riff on that. It's the level of manipulation and ability to milk that script. Like, why do they throw the public a bone when they do? Like, that, some of that part of it doesn't make any sense to us. Like, it doesn't make sense. So why is it? Is it just because it doesn't make sense? I don't think that's it. I think there's a non-human element here that's being involved in scripting this, and is involved deeply in how the NFL, the narratives in the NFL are synergizing with things like Taylor Swift and synergizing with the pop culture, synergizing with the people who do not watch the NFL and fucking hate sports and Taylor Swift. You know, they have to have this narrative synergize with the narrative that those people are also latching on to as well. So there's some big brain, buff brain shit going here, and we need more brains in on figuring it all out, because we can only think of so many things because basically of time constraints.
Yeah, it's I've just seen so much change in this NFL, and just I've always been a numbers person, and it's all it comes down to is numbers. That's all this is, just numbers.
Numbers and pattern recognition, knowing,
and it's basically like coin flipping.
And there's a lot of psychology behind it, though, too, Kev.
Very.
I think that you have a high intelligence, and a lot of people don't have that. And I think people of high intelligence tend to not be able to understand how other people can't fucking understand it, because it just makes sense to you, you know? Where it's like you see those numbers, you can start see the patterns, and then you can apply what's called, applied mathematics and applied reality. You can see how those things actually are applying in real time, psychologically through people's behavior. And that piece of this is, I don't know if you can teach that really.
The government
I think you can show people examples.
The government can implant that into you, and it's fucking change your life forever the way you think.
That's what, yeah.
For real, bro. Like
you have
the
a
1%
perspective
that
that
controls
people don't
this
have.
fucking world, that are guarded by the fucking top of the chain of all this government shit going on. Right. Bro, you look at fucking things differently with everything, because it's just one of those, I don't know, man, I guess.
Well, it's totally different world. Like you get all the doors are open. Not all the doors, but
the doors are open.
You know, all the doors within that level that they'll let you go to. Yeah. Like Kev said, I could have went to Antarctica. Like, not a lot of people get to fucking go to Antarctica.
Unless you're like a researcher or a scientist or some sort of traveler that's doing
that's
like a history
government
channel.
researcher.
You ain't booking a
You're
trip
not getting
up there.
You're not a third party contractor that the government's like, hey, go check out Antarctica for us.
And they
report what you find.
And it required a pretty elaborate clearance level.
Yeah,
which I already had, but you had to get a different one.
You would have probably been sworn to, like, you can't talk about what happens in Antarctica because people can't see it.
Oh, they'd be like,
there's
holy
fucking
fuck.
underground cities and shit
you
here.
never know. Like Area 51.
You would have been like, it's fucking 65 degrees here. I'm out here in a fucking t-shirt and shorts. It ain't nothing like they told you it was. You think it's gonna be polar bears and fucking icebergs? Fuck no. It's like flowers and dandelions.
They probably could be using for experiment stuff up in that area. Like nobody goes to Antarctica. Like it's not. Exactly. But that was now. I look back. I'm like, motherfucker.
I know, right?
Space would have been the only thing that would have been on my list. But you can effortlessly do that. You can go to space before you get Antarctica. You can go to space before you can go to Antarctica. Think about that. The shit that I saw Antarctica.
You should have chose Antarctica.
It just sounded so much fun, and I had 6 months to think, and then it came down to where I said no, I ain't. But yeah, that would have been like, man, that would have like completed fucking the whole world. Like, what else am I gonna see? You know?
Yeah, that would have been sweet to be able to cross that one off. Like, well, I mean, maybe it isn't even Antarctica where they take you. Who knows?
Iceland, somewhere. Who knows?
You know,
But even like in Vegas.
But to be there and experience it'd have been fucking cool.
And there's jobs that you have to fly out of Vegas to go to. So there's like, it's like the area of Groom Lake. It's that Area 51.
Did you watch the
now
Barbie movie?
I've met people that I didn't know who but I'd see them. They'd be walking in suits. And they'd go up to like this private, and they'd get on a jet, and they'd say that jet's going out to Groom Lake. I'm like, the fuck, it's going to Groom Lake? They're like, yeah, you can only get there through the plane. Like, you can't even drive out there.
See, this is what this reminds
me
of.
I said, I want to fucking know what that job is. They're like, you ain't gonna find it because it's fucking clients. Like, you ain't gonna have a clearance high enough to get out there unless you know the right people. And I said, well, I'm gonna try Antarctica instead and see what's going on, but I didn't.
See what that reminds me of, Trevor. You watched the Barbie movie. Kev, did you watch the Barbie movie? Kev hasn't watched it yet. Okay. So in the Barbie movie, spoiler alert, if to get from Barbie Land to the real world, they have to cross the barrier or whatever, right? And then the witch is like, that tells her how to do it. She's like, well, it's not really that easy. You know, you have to take a bike and then rollerblades and then a ship here and then there. There's like a whole bunch of steps that you have to take. There's something going on that matches that in the real world here that matches that story. So maybe there is some area where it's like Kev says that you got to get on a certain plane at a certain place and take it at a certain time, and then you catch a ferry, and then you fucking do this. It's like there's a way to get to places that are not publicly accessible, and it's probably like they told us in Barbie Land. No, it's like just a series of different things that you have to do, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's it. They hide it right in plain sight.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? When you're telling me that shit, my algorithm brain my pattern recognition is going off. Like, hold on, I've heard this before.
Those were jobs available to people that knew somebody. Like, you didn't ask for the job. They contacted you and said, you have a meeting tomorrow, can't tell you what it's for, be there.
Yeah.
If you're not there, unless you have an excuse. But that thing was, you wouldn't tell you what you're doing. They would say, hey, you could go to Antarctica or Singapore. They wouldn't tell you what the fuck, anything beyond that. You didn't know. I just knew there were scientists up there. I'm like, this would be cool. But Singapore,
military and scientists for sure.
And the thing about other countries, like not the Antarctica one, but like Singapore, you have to know
probably
some sort of language, but you also have to fit into the culture. If you know too much English in a country that hates you or wants to fucking kidnap you, and you were speaking fluent something, Mandarin Chinese, for example, if you were speaking that fluent, you're a fucking spy, for example. That's what they classify you as. So I always said when I would speak fluent Japanese, for example, they would ask me, where did you learn Japanese? And I'd be like, I'm a student. I went to college in California, out in Sacramento, or or I went to a school where they were teaching languages. There was people learning. Yeah. But that's the type of shit that you can't. It's tough to not try to. You have to like try to fake
train your autonomic nervous system.
If you know a word that whoa, how do you? The Japanese girls is one. The girl I dated, she goes, the more Japanese you know, the more the girls know that you're a player, because the more Japanese, you've been with more Japanese girls. And I said, oh shit, because I speak Japanese to her when I first met her. And she's like, you a gaijin, you a player. I was like, what, excuse me? She's like, you know too much Japanese. And she's like, you look around, and she spoke a little broken English. She goes, all the Japanese, they speak perfect English. They play us too. They know all the contractors. So we had this mutual bond. She knew too much English than she should have. I knew too much Japanese. We were like in this made kind of marriage type love at first sight.
Oh man.
That's kind of how that all transitioned. So I had to like figure out a way. How do I speak enough to not stand out?
That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. So I was always I studied it in college,
Wow.
Because who the fuck hasn't studied a language? But Chinese is one of the strange ones. So. That's the toughest, Chinese and Mandarin, toughest language, because you get away from the Latin dictionary. So Americans have such a tough time learning that language. There's so many dialects. So. I've always been fascinated by languages. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a fascinating subject for me too. Like, why do they say that for that?
Yeah.
Where the fuck did that all come from? Why aren't we all unified on that either? Like, jeez.
Because, you go into Japan, you go into a sushi restaurant, the first thing you hear at the door is, "Irasaimasu." Like, everybody in the restaurant stops what they're doing. They say, "Irasaimasu." They welcome the person into the restaurant, and everybody's having a good time. It's a different culture. Everybody's just enjoying it.
Shit sounds like Jimmy John's.
It's so much fun, bro. The culture in the restaurants, and it's so much. I miss that.
I bet they're even faster than Jimmy John's over there.
They're very.
I bet that if I was in a Japanese coffee drive-through, like I got stuck in last week. Remember I told that story, everybody? I bet that line probably wouldn't have even stopped moving. They'd have probably figured out how to drop the coffee on the fucking go.
Yeah.
They've been like, you drive 50 miles an hour through
Yeah.
drive-through? No problem. Me calculate angle of velocity, X, Y, Z equal 45,000. Me drop now, boom. Coffee in your hand. Smile on your face.
Very cultured. No tipping.
Dude.
Very, very, very proud of their food. Very proud of their service. If you did something wrong, it's their fault. They just call it. I'm sorry. Oh, go
Yeah.
So sorry. Like they're like overreacting. You're like, I just spilled like a pitcher of tea, and she's like, it's her fault.
Like I told you the wrong order, and yet you're still taking
Like she's
blame
taking the total
for
blame.
me telling you the wrong thing.
But in America, it's a different shift. It's just different, man.
Yeah, me so sorry. Me should have told you what you wanted again. I should have reminded you.
But if it's not their fault, they still apologize.
I love that.
Very apologetic, very sincere, very.
I could see how they could really like use that logic to troll people. Just like if they wanted to use it actually sarcastically, they totally could, and you might never even know it.
So yes,
Oh
sir.
man, that's fantastic. I love hearing that about that culture. It's just-
Japan, bro. I loved. The only thing was just I didn't want to live there because, man, they'll never be on a level of America for weed.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
And I saw the market in Colorado. I'm like, I'm going to go live in Colorado for a bit, see what's going on. Cost
Right.
of living tripled there. I said, I got to get the fuck out of Colorado. Fuck am I going to live here for?
That is
and
what
the
happened.
weed market was saturated,
Yeah.
meaning like you couldn't just open a dispensary.
Yeah, weed got legalized,
Way-
and
and
then
it got too
prices.
fast.
What happened immediately
too
after the fucking real estate boom?
Yep. And then I went
Yeah.
back and visited Japan for a few weeks to give me another second shot. And I said, I got to get out of here. It was just the culture and living there was fun. It was time.
How long were you there?
For
Some time.
4 years. About 4 years.
Yeah. That's a good time. That's a good
And I
amount of time to
traveled
get
quite a
though.
bit too. So I was basically, I lived there long enough to know that, hey,
Yeah.
this is and plus
I know
it's
what you're
just a
saying.
different way of living versus, it's almost like, would you want to live in downtown Vegas on the Strip?
No.
Fuck no. Like that's like,
No.
what I want to live in Tokyo, dude, you know how long it took to get anywhere around Tokyo?
Fuck.
It's 4 times the size of New York City,
know how
and it's
long it
half the size, meaning
Takes
it's
to get
small.
anywhere in fucking Seattle area.
I
God
got
damn it, that
the,
sucks.
Yeah, I just started.
I'm going 10 miles. It takes me fucking 2 hours.
And then she had these business ideas. I liked her, but she wanted to do what we classify as Airbnb here. She's a bitch. She has salons over there, so she's got her business. She's business minded. That's why we had a track because she gambled. She knew about
okay.
sports. She knew that this guy don't fuck around. Like she knew. Like
That makes sense.
I was a gambler, and she understood poker, so we had the compatibility. Because a lot of women are like, that fucking guy's a, whatever, degenerate, and so she had a business, and I thought that'd be kind of cool.
All he does is talk about conspiracy theories and smoking weed.
But I'm glad that I still miss it, but it's just one of those, man, America, we got it pretty good here for certain things, except, it's what
Yeah,
it is.
man, we do have some kick-ass things like being able to just smoke some weed whenever we want.
Weed, man.
But
you go to they'll hang you in like a country.
yeah,
Japan's even
like
worse
some
than
of
them.
that shit is just fucking ridiculous. Like y'all need to get.
When I got to Colorado and I went back to Japan to visit, I had to like recheck and double check my bags to make sure I didn't have anything in my bag, because you go to customs there, and you get caught with anything, dude.
Fuck, you ain't getting out.
No,
Damn
they
it.
don't care how much Japanese
For
you
a
know.
while.
They don't care who you know. And then
Well, if your name's Brittany Griner, you can.
locked up in Russia. So that was just, I had that so much fear, and I finally
You'd have been on the news, Kev. They'd
Oh,
have been
I'd be on
like,
the news.
fucking.
left a dispensary bag from Colorado in an accident. No.
That would have shit, man. That
So
would
yeah,
suck.
just little things like that. It's great, but they're just I don't know. You'd have to. Good luck finding corruption. And Japan's already by the Yakuza, which is like the mafia over there. They take care of anything that's underground shit, but you got to know somebody. Like, motherfucker, you can't just be like, hey, I'm from America. I'm here to fucking sell weed. I'm here to fucking buy weed. They're like, motherfucker, they'll set you up. And fucking Thailand was like that. They try to set up foreign tourists, planting fucking shit on them. And then...
What were you talking about earlier? The women bodybuilding goes too far, and then Lois is over there like rearranging the furniture, and she's all buffed out and tatted up. Like, what the fuck? How is that the episode on when that's never come up in our conversation before? What the fuck?
Yeah, the women that go to the gym and make their bodies completely unrecognizable, except for a nice ass and over tan body.
Yeah.
Unhealthy tan, wrinkly.
I saw a blonde one there today, just gorgeous, but she is right on that edge, Kev. Like her back muscles, holy shit, bro. Like she's right on the edge of getting to like where you might need to just maintain. Try not to bulk up anymore because you're gonna lose like that feminine power look. And it's gonna be just a little too much grain there. I don't know how to describe that. I want to see it again though, because she really good definition. Like that upper back area is like not an area that you see on a woman that's ever really that like built up and toned. And she had it like really well. But like really tasteful too. I'm interested in getting to know this girl a little bit, but I have to play my angles right. I had to make sure that she wanted my attention first. Now that green light is on, I just got to find a good time. Basically, until I find a good time, you kind of got to play like, well, I see you, but I don't see you. And then when I do, I'm gonna tell her it's all her fault, and pretty much make everything her fault.
There you go. Put the blame on somebody. Yep. It's always somebody else's fault.
Exactly. Like, hi, nice to meet you. This is your fault. It's really rude. It's really rude of you, to leave here every day and just. How was I gonna put that? Make it sound like they left your number at the gym, so it was really rude for them to like leave their belongings at the gym for others to have to put away to clean up,
Man, that's
like they wanted me to tell you at the desk that this is your warning if you keep leaving. If you keep leaving your things here after you're done working out. They're going to kick you out or something like that. And she'll be like, what? I don't leave anything. Well, you left here without my number. Like, how many times now, It's becoming a problem for the janitorial crew. Just see what kind of answer you get out of that. Why not?
Dated this girl. She was so addicted to the gym. Like, addicted gym. Kind of
really?
Like the gym just as much as work. Like those fucking those people that are addicted.
This girl,
and she
not the same one.
I was like, man, she's too fucking hot to be going to the gym by herself for that much long period. I'm like, I gotta keep an eye on her, but then I gotta go to the gym. I wasn't going to the gym. I was busy fucking doing whatever. Like, that's scary. Like, man, I'd be terrified. Chick going out to a bar is one thing, but a gym, there's a lot going on in the gym.
Jeez, have you seen some of the guys at the gym? Like, it's not hard to find a guy that has that's just put the time in and looks like a fucking small mountain. Like, it's not hard to find. Like, at the gym I'm going to, there's a lot of young people and a lot of young men that are like taking care of their bodies. You can tell that that's what they've done. You always, in this type of demographic, there's always that population of guys that go to the gym and take care of themselves. It is. So, as Kev's saying, if you got a girl and she's going to the gym, like we were saying earlier, if you're married and your wife is going to the gym without you, yeah. you might want to check into things and make sure things are all good, because the married ladies at the gym, I mean any ladies at the gym, they are very aware of the guys checking them out. They are secretly in competition with all of their friends to pick up.
The guy's fucking, he's built like a fucking linebacker. You don't want to fuck with him.
Right? Some of those guys are fucking built like linebackers and you don't want to fuck with them. So it's like, as a guy in that position, sure, you can man up and you can start going to the gym and you're like, I'm going to get in shape, right? But here's the thing, bro. There's a very, very, very high chance that you are not going to be the biggest guy, buffest guy at the gym, at any gym that you go to, fucking ever. And that's a realization. Well, not a realization that I've had to come. I've been shorter than most guys my entire life, so it's not any sort of adversity that I'm not used to. But I'm never going to be the biggest guy, even at my peak, like, physical performance. Like, if I fill out and I am just like perfectly comfortable, I am like at the perfect equilibrium for my body and everything, there's still going to be guys there that have bigger muscles than me. Like, it's just, I'm never going to get around that. So it's like, yeah, if you have a guy or a girl that's going to the gym, and I tell you what, bro, like, there are guys that have those big muscles too. They're the type of guys who will. I had a guy come up to me today, and I was on the machine that was right by this pack of girls that I was telling Kev about. This young pack of girls that I've been getting green lights from, but it's like you can't just approach them, and you have to get your angle right. Anyway, so I'm like right next to him, and we're having the body language conversation going on back and forth. And this guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, are you done with this machine?" Like, because I had just like stood up and I was stretching, like just in between reps, right, in between sets. Like, and he's like, "Oh, are you almost done?" And like basically kind of trying to kick me off, but it was like so he could get right next to these chicks that were all like wearing, revealing clothing and very attractive ladies. So, and the guy's bigger than me. Definitely bigger than me, more muscular than me. That guy probably lives at the gym, but I was like, dude. And then did the guy even come back to the machine when I was done? No. So was he really even interested in using that machine? Absolutely not. No, he just wanted to be right next to these girls. So my point here is that guy's wife that's going to the gym alone or without him, there are guys there that will just go up to them and talk to them because that's their thing.
Well, it's like a bar, but worse.
Yep. It can. Yeah, exactly.
Can't blame it on the alcohol, but not.
Like it almost can be worse because
so much. And plus, you're in a bar. It's so many people.
Your blood's pumping. They're like
things are
you
separated.
see them all sweaty. It's a very sexual kind of environment anyway, especially with the attire that the ladies wear these days. The yoga pants and the yoga shorts and all the fucking outfits that they wear. It's like, I mean, these girls are basically wearing like underwear that's in the form of shorts, and then they're wearing like thong panties on underneath of it. So it's like very revealing, and like for a guy, you're just like, holy shit, you are fine, And these girls know that. They're like, that's some of the best part of their day, like Kev was saying. Some of them, they'll go there as much as they do work. Well, I think these girls are from Augustana, like the private college in town.
Probably.
So
membership. They
look good. They have a little cash on them. They know that the eyes are on them. The wives, and like I said, all the women are kind of in this secret competition with each other. And the wives are like, when they're at the gym, they're also competing for that a bit of attention, even though they might not be there to like, I'm married. I'm just going here to get in shape and this and that. And that might well all be. But then she sees Timmy, who I didn't even take out of the case yet. She sees Timmy here, And Timmy's like busting a nice flex. He's got a bead of sweat running down, you know. And she's like, oh my God. I've had the old cow for so long, and now here's the young calf, the young bull. Right? Step Brothers reference, if anybody didn't get that.
Yes.
See, Timmy comes in and he's like, hey, baby, how you like them chords? She's like, oh, Tim, just give me that A. He's like, there you go, baby. How you like that? See me a little more next time. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, that's the gym atmosphere in a nutshell. This game is so fucking boring, Kev. Nothing's happening. Like all the Monday night games we've tried to cover have been snooze fest of games,
Yeah,
except for what? Right down until the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's strange.
Gee, just how we like described it all the fucking time.
The girls at the casino
Can pretty much wait
that are
till the last 2
bartenders
minutes.
up there, when I go,
Okay, yep. I know some of their faces. I
Yeah.
remember them
'cause
pre-COVID anyway.
I would go up there every day for something, collect money from somebody or whatever's going on, right?
Yeah.
But I'd be playing poker for hours on end. I'd be at the casino. Or I'd be at home. That's about it. And the waitresses, they all be looking for a sugar daddy. They would say, Kev, I just don't want to be in a relationship. I just want to fucking make you happy and get paid. And I'm like, holy fuck, I'm getting auctioned. I got to auction these girls. Like, who wants the lowest bid? How much you want to quit your job? 10,000? Okay, I'll offer you 7. So anyway,
They get it,
they said you'd make the perfect. But actually, the one girl, she goes, I really think you'd be a good. We'd have a good relationship. I'm like, why is that? She's like, because I'm either here at home and you're either here at home, so I ain't got to worry about you out cheating. And I'm like, she goes, I like to gamble. And I'm like, but then she goes, but my kid. And I was like, well, that's the problem. Like, how am I going to be devoted? Fucking, you got a kid, 5 years old, whatever. She's like, yeah. And she's like, I'm.
Dallas scored a
She
touchdown.
was trying to justify how. Like
she was running you through your.
She was trying.
She got you guys married, had kids, and were like living day to day already. Like damn, she saw straight in you. That's one of these chicks. They are secretly competing with each other.
I told you, man. They was fighting over who's gonna serve me because I was tipping every time. And I was like, here, ladies, you can all each have a 20. It's fucking tip bill today. So you ain't got to fight over me because, I can't fucking have, what am I going to drink? 10 drinks?
It was such a cute look, too. It was like, yeah, you're my friend, but when it comes down to it, I want that guy. Like, I loved it.
Just degenerate gambling.
Sorry.
People. They loved it.
I got like a softcore crush going on at the gym already. So what am I supposed to do? She had these like cute braided pigtails the first day.
I don't know. I like the old-fashioned alcohol and poor decisions were always fun times.
Yeah, gosh dang it. And when I think about these girls, Kev, I think about that too. I'm like, they're so young though. They're probably out like still drinking and getting shit-faced. They're gonna make so many fucking mistakes that they haven't made yet. And maybe that's a good reason to like maybe step into their life. But at the same time, a guy like me stepping into somebody's life is a little bit life-changing just by proxy. In a good way, but I mean, a lot of not a lot of people are open-minded.
Yeah,
They don't want to hear about that shit. I can't help it. I see shit. I'm like, okay, we got to tell the truth. Like, this is what's going on here. It fucking sucks that we got to live in a world that's like all fucked up. We got to live in a world that they can't tell us what the fucking shape is. They got to lie to us about that. Our football can't even just be fucking football. It's got to be scripted, rigged, cheating fucking technology that they won't even, they do tell us about, but they won't show, it's like this huge fucking illusion in every goddamn way we turn. It's like, why can't shit just be cool? Like I can be cool. I know I can be cool. I know Kev can be cool. We've been cool. Like we've been cool this entire fucking time. Timmy's cool. Tim's been cool. We've demonstrated coolness is fucking possible. So what the fuck is the problem that everybody else can't just be cool?
I don't know, there's only one place I know of, and that would be Oktoberfest. When I was in Germany, man, we sat at a table, there's people from all over. I didn't speak half of the, I wouldn't spoke half the languages, but we sat at a table, I was drinking, and everybody's having fucking listening to music, no fucking issues.
The only place I can relate to is Smoker's Circle. When the Applebee's kitchen crew was all done working for the day, they would come over to my place, my roommate's place, and then we would all smoke, and we'd have like a big fucking 20 to 30 person like big fucking joint circle going on. So we'd have like 2 or 3 blunts just rolling in this big circle, and it didn't matter who anybody was, what they did prior to that in life. You were all just fucking cool for being there. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. New Year's Eve maybe at a place, but there's still chaos.
I had the nickname there.
Maybe
the chillinest dude ever. They're like, dude, you are just the chillinest dude ever. You don't ever really say anything, but when you do, it's just chill. It's like nothing. I don't know. That I remember that shit. Anyway.
Yes, sir. Cowboys 17, Chargers 10.
Yeah, fourth quarter, 9 minutes, 20 seconds left.
You know, I want to bet that, you know, that with Kelsey, or that Super Bowl last year when the Chiefs played in their own Arizona.
When the Chiefs
State
played
Farm
in Rome.
Stadium.
When the Chiefs played in Rome, is that what you said?
How scripted was that? State Farm Stadium is hosting the Super Bowl, and Jake from State Farm and Kelsey are on commercials.
Yeah, how does that work?
That just bothers me about. Oh no, somebody's writing these scripts and it's just. Oh man. I mean, what else can they throw in?
Oof.
To entice the.
I'm wondering if our little transceiver is going to die here. It's on low battery. If you hear us cut out, it's because this transceiver is on low battery. Normally it lasts another half hour, but we did not take a break for halftime. I'm going to have to find a way to keep this thing charged, Kev, because we're getting to these 3-hour length periods, and it's like, I don't want this thing like dying on us, just cutting out. Oh my God. So did the kicker just get run into by his own guy? And now the fucking Chargers recover? What the fuck just happened? So anyway, yeah, if this one cuts out and it leaves at a cliffhanger, I mean, it's not that big a deal. You guys will know who had won the game by the time this comes out anyway. You might not get our reaction to it, but our reaction is, what's our reaction going to be? Yeah, fucking told you. See?
Jeez, that just, what a...
So the defensive guy pushed the offensive guy into his own guy, and then this? That's face mask, by the way. Why is nobody calling that? That's illegal use of hands to the face.
Oh, Troy.
What the fuck did we just see? I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. What the fuck?
Yes, sir. Man, halfway through the season, well, getting close to there, they added a game. An extra game, so.
Huh.
Well, they got Halloween coming up. There's
Then we
no
got
football there. That's a Tuesday. I was thinking if that was a Monday, that would have been strange. Everybody
Halloween's
dressed
a
up as
Tuesday.
fucking
Okay.
Taylor Swift and
Perfect. Then after that, we got Thanksgiving right away. Which November is probably going to go pretty quick. I got a feeling November is going to be just
it's
a blink.
For some reason, that's a fast.
Yeah.
Look at that, Dolphins at the Chiefs. What the fuck? That's gonna be a matchup.
When's that?
November 5th.
Okay.
And then the Eagles play the Chiefs. I think the following week. It's one of those. The Super Bowls repeat. They're playing each other. The Chiefs and the Eagles. You know Taylor gonna be there.
You gotta have Taylor there. We can't have this without Taylor.
I don't know what the ploy was for her to be so. Fucking that one person.
Yeah, why is she even involved? What the fuck is going on here?
I mean, what is their ploy? What else could have they done? I mean, it makes me think about that. No, man, it's strange. It's very strange. You know, reality show, the Swifties or the Kelseys, whatever the fuck that reality show gonna be, and you know, his brother Jason Kelsey for the Eagles, the center, he got a family. Travis ain't got no family, so I imagine that's gonna be or whatever their name, Jason, whatever his name is. Could get the Kelseys mixed up for their first name, but that's got to be some sort of. I mean, don't most of these athletes have some sort of reality show, some form of these major key celebrities? They create some not like Deion Sanders in Colorado, but they create like they're at home. They're not playing football anymore. They're raising kids, but their lives are still.
I think a lot of them try, and then they either fucking fail or they don't. Yeah. Maybe make it 2 to 5 seasons or something.
But them, you know what? Throw a sex tape out there, y'all. If they really want to entice us, we found a sex tape with them guys on a beach or on a yacht.
You'd probably have to.
You know what the hell?
How
much fucking
media.
Chaos that would produce? But all the fake shit that would come along with it, it would be just one of those things they could add just to blow this thing completely apart.
Like we've seen with Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant.
The scandal, some sort of.
Always
they installed a hidden camera in the fucking somewhere. Now somebody's fucking got some, like.
Somebody's fucking someone.
Or it's just all made up, and they come out with, here's the fucking video.
Like Kobe cheated on his wife, and now he has to go through. And same with Tiger Woods. It's like, I mean, by now it's like a ritual thing for them. Like, do you think when Kobe or Tiger, whichever one went through it first, if it was really like this legitimate, all natural occurring event, do you think the other one wouldn't have called the other one and been like, hey, what do I do to keep all the optics right? You think their agents wouldn't have been like putting out every single fire? I mean, the media doesn't publish anything that the agents don't really allow them to, because if these are all mafia controlled, it means that it's fucking controlled through the whole thing. They don't have variables that might not go their way. Sure, they might once in a while, like Kev was saying, they had a referee who was in on it, but then he started going against what was in on it so he could hedge a little more for himself. Well, they fucking took care of that guy. Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not, man. It's strange. Yeah. It's just, it happens so quick. You know?
That's what's weird.
And Rodgers goes out and Taylor Swift fucking is in the picture and she's bigger than anybody.
Yeah, it's just poof,
like that.
Like they got them. Well, this one's in, new, out with the old, in with the new. Just boom.
Like, do you really think that stadium would be sold out without Rodgers?
Just like they did for COVID.
No, when she
With this,
showed
in
up,
with this.
those fucking tickets went so fast. It's like the Super Bowl was announced.
Yeah, something's going on. Something's going on. I was watching something else too I wanted to talk about that brought this into. So yeah, they did. Wow, they did give the Chargers the ball on that whole debacle.
Yeah. Interesting.
So they're down in the red zone.
$17 to $10.
You can do it. You can. Well, he maybe got a yard or two.
That's fucking pushing them back.
Yep. Okay. Come on now.
In the old headsets. And they got them colors again.
Same
Monday
damn
night
colors,
theme is them colors, bro. You notice that? Every team got them.
Yeah, it's just stupid. It's like
Taylor
the
Swift
coaches
colors.
they're just NFL coaches. They're not team coaches.
Taylor Swift colors.
That's what it makes me looks like. Wow, he just gunned that one to the dirt. Great pass, Herbert. That was fucking right on the money.
Hey, did you know what happened to the Deion Sanders team?
Yeah, I saw they got beat
Well,
by the worst team in the league. Like somebody
No,
they beat earlier, but
it was
gosh, who was it?
fucking Stanford.
Stanford, yeah, Stanford.
Well, fuck, what happened was, you know, the spotlights on Colorado, spotlights on the organization. It's just one of those, it's like Taylor Swift, but it's whatever. It's just so much magnified on that university because it came out of nowhere, Deion Sanders. Well, what happened was they were up 29-0 at halftime. And we're jumping around celebrating and fucking acting like the game was over. And like halftime, Deion ripped to their fucking shreds. Like yelled at them and told them, the game ain't over. You know, like trying to, give them motivation. 29-0. You're fine.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers ended up losing the game. Deion was pissed. So that's like.
Wait, they were up 29-0 and
At
they
halftime.
lost?
They lost the game.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got to see how it was.
Oh, that was the same. Okay, so the meme I saw was the same damn game. It wasn't the second time they played them. I thought they beat them 26-0 the first time, and then they were losing something to 26 the second time, and it showed Deion's like face the first time, and he was all happy, and then the second time, I didn't realize it was the same fucking game, dude. It just his first and second half. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was just like everybody. It was in Colorado, so imagine everybody's happy.
Oh wow, even worse. Home crowd team too, or home crowd.
The thing was, it was on ESPN, obviously. And it was a late game. It started like 9 o'clock. It was so late. And then it went to overtime. The game went to overtime. So what happened? They went to overtime. And, they just lost. They fucking lost, bro. And it was like you couldn't write that script. But it happened.
Wow. Chargers just scored a touchdown too.
17-17.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's getting close.
Yeah, right. They may. I mean, this is kind of what we predicted. It's gonna be a close game. Which it really has been all fucking game. It's been close. It was 0-0. Then it was 7-7. Then it was 10-7. Then it was 17-10. Or no, then it was 10-10. Then it was 17-10. And now it's 17-17. So it's
34.
At 7 minutes and 11 seconds left, Kev. So there's 17-17. There's 7 minutes and 11 seconds left. And number 7 just scored the fucking touchdown? Come on. What the?
Hebert.
And it came from number 10, which is 17.
Watch a game end on a
I
tie.
mean, really, do all those numbers really align like that right now?
Watch it end on a tie. That'd be a fun one. Because I was just talking about we haven't seen a tie yet this year. Watch that shit happen. 17-17, fucking game over. It could happen. There he is. That's Travis Kelce, not Jason. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's weird. That's the wrong way to bench press a guy.
See how much stuff he's fucking involved in?
Yeah, like what is... Like this is whiplash right now. I mean, what? There's a fucking Pfizer... Jason Kelce is for a Pfizer commercial? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Travis Kelce.
Oh my
I was getting
God.
confused. Yeah, he's in a fucking... No Taylor, though. What the fuck, man? What is
He
going
showed
on?
himself with 2 Band-Aids.
Yeah, what's
Not
crazy?
just 1, 2.
That's fucking strange.
Dude, I don't know what I just saw, but I fucking saw something, and it was supposed to do something to me, and it sure did something to me.
The vaccines are back. Get them while you can.
Yeah, I was joking with
We're
someone.
gonna run out of. Get them.
I think the play is just to basically mock everything that's going on right now. Like when they tell us, go get the vaccines, like, yeah, fucking, while you're at it, just get 10 of them. You better just get 10 of them to be super sure.
Round up to the 10.
You know, why stop it? And then I put that on there. I was like, why don't you just get 7? What? And if you're going to get 7, you just as well get 10. And then somebody responded to that, and they were like, why stop at 10? Why don't we just go right to 100? I was like, you know what? We should just get a shot every day before every meal. That way you're always covered. You're just
shot.
always covered,
Daily
right?
shot.
Yeah, no, like 3 times a day.
There you go.
Just like 3 of them. Bam, 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 you know?
Look at her.
I know, I was going to talk about that too, because she was going like fucking crazy. And I was going to be like, God, that person is just so emotionally attached to this. But then I was like, it's probably one of the wives of the players, and she is in on the script, so she knows to go crazy. Like,
Fans are very interesting at stadiums.
yeah.
Boy, they just out of control. Won't sit down, yelling.
Wearing stupid shit on their heads like cheese. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Chaos.
I don't mind some of the silliness, but
It's overboard.
yeah,
It is.
some of it where it devolves into like just degenerate chaos. I mean, come on. Be a little bit conscious.
The flag's coming out. Oh, jeez. Them crooked zebras, bro.
Yeah, false start, Dallas. Who knows how this one's gonna end? Who knows? I think that look at Prescott. He's got a winning look in his eye, doesn't he?
He know what the final score is.
He knows what the final score is gonna be. That's right. Like he's like, I'm putting on a winning performance tonight.
After coming off of a loss.
Coming off of a loss, that's right. After didn't they get just shit stomped by San Francisco too? Not too far long ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're coming off 2 losses. Or maybe there was a win in between there.
They haven't. Yeah, it was 1 win, 1 loss, and then now
Okay.
they won. They won when they came off a loss. That's what with the thing about the Cowboys. Well,
You know,
rebound team.
I was watching a Jake the Asshole video today, and he brought up a good point on one of those plays where watch how far the quarterback drops back. Like, how many yards does he go back?
5, 6, 7.
Because
maybe
now,
10.
yeah, he was pointing out, like, sometimes these guys are going back, like, 10 to 15 yards or 10 yards for, like, what reason?
Sometimes when they get sacked, it puts look at this situation. See?
Yeah, see, I always
That's the
remember.
difference between 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 19.
Yeah, like, why is he backing up so far?
Well, I mean, if you're going to pass it, that's a fucking. You need to have your defense to
Right.
fence you up.
Now, what I remember from watching quarterbacks is they would stay pretty close. See, watch how far he drops back even. Then he steps up. Like, why'd he drop back 5 yards
Look at him go,
to
though.
step up?
You have to ask them.
Yeah.
The change, though, it's definitely changed. Mm-hmm. The way they're kicking and the way that they're backing up, it's just.
Yeah.
It's all.
Something's changed. Yeah, something's changed there. I remember the quarterbacks used to stay, especially Tom Brady.
In the pocket.
Especially fucking Tom Brady. He used to sit there like he was the chillest cucumber in the fucking cucumber kingdom.
Very, very, very chill player.
Like, he would sit there like, nothing is going to touch me. I can guarantee this.
Man, what an era that was with the Patriots.
Yeah,
You're
he's
talking
like-
about dynasties. The Chiefs are now what the Patriots are.
Dude, he knew that his wife casted spells before every game that he played in. He was
Giselle?
like, there's no way I'm getting sacked here. Giselle casted a protection barrier.
But how does a team that goes undefeated lose the Super Bowl against the Giants that were the wild card? Imagine that. The 8-9 team, back then, the 8-9, 8 and 18, fucking beat the undefeated Patriots. Still doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
Like, it was over at halftime.
Just ran him over, huh?
Great.
Wow. Well, there's a first down for the Cowboys. Huh, interesting. This is getting good, Kev. I'm starting to see like every play now is kind of an essential part of the script. So you are not wrong when you say they only need 4 plays in the whole fucking game, really, if they wanted to decide an outcome.
They can do it 1 per quarter. They can do all 4 in the last 4 minutes. They can do all 4 in one fucking set of plays.
One drive, or they could do the entire fucking game.
Right, they could push this to first down to the 30-yard line if they wanted. In field goal range. That's
Yeah.
how quick it can go.
Yep.
If it takes 3 flags, that's 10 to 15 yards in most cases.
Especially.
You know what? Fuck, that's 45 yards in flags
Yeah.
to get him down to field goal. But I would do that when it comes down to this situation.
Yeah.
They can't do it every first down because then what fucking fun would that be? First down every time? No. It's like the movie, man. It's like the last couple minutes. It's like a villain movie.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see a stat on how many games are actually over before the last 5 minutes.
The Dolphins and when my pick lost by 50 points. There's 45 points at halftime. That game was over at half. 45-7 or some shit.
Yeah.
We weren't coming back. We scored 3 more points. That was 10.
That game
Or
was
20 points we scored. 20-70.
They wanted that one to run away in a hurry.
Poor Broncos, man. I really I gave up on them for the time being. Might pick them later. You never know. What goes around comes around, I always say.
Yeah.
Then the next time they play each other, it might be the opposite. Everybody remember the 70-20, but they'll forget that, hey, it's fucking football. It could go reverse. It could be 50-10 next game. The opposite.
Shit,
These are all professional athletes. That's what people have to fail to realize. Patrick Mahomes isn't he's just the poster child for everything. He's the director of operations for acting. That would be his job title in the fucking CIA.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
That's
NFL
his-
actor.
But not
Or just actor.
Yeah.
Roles, NFL quarterback.
NFL, yeah.
2-time Super Bowl winner. Yeah, and
He's
then
the
it's
vice
accolades.
chairman for fucking the actor.
Dude. Dude, we probably have situations where like one person is playing a shitload of different roles and they're just wearing these fucking CIA masks that are all like, just like in Mission Impossible, dude. That's probably been going on for so fucking long that there are probably actors and NFL stars that were wearing a mask the entire fucking time. Like, think about Beyonce or The Rock. Things where it's like that iconic body, where it's like the figure never changes. So it's like, okay, you're just wearing a bodysuit.
Gets bigger.
Right? So it's like maybe even Elon Musk, shit like that.
Yeah, Mission Impossible is a prime example of how they can fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's strange though that.
Strange to think about that reality. I know.
How much power these corporations have.
Oh, holy shit.
And control.
It's a lot. It would be easy to usurp all of it if people were just educated enough that we could, sustain ourselves and organize a little bit of community, stuff like that. But I don't know. We got an odd reality that we're fucking dealing with.
Something, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting bit here. We shouldn't be watching fucking scripted football. Why is that one? It's always that same referee, Kev. That guy's jacked.
Yeah,
he's like
they're the same style, bro. They all look the same. They have black referees they throw in there just to, I don't know. They throw flags too. Yeah, he's the one in charge.
Yeah, like he can probably beat all the other ones up. Look at that. Did you see that guy's arms? They're like bigger than most of those guys' guts. which is pretty big. I always want to call that Tony Romo. It's not Tony Romo, it's Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm. Tony Romo broadcasts now.
God, it's the same fucking name.
He does the Sunday afternoon games.
So, 3 minutes left, Kev. Does that mean this game is fucking over? Can they run this down and not give the Chargers possession?
They need 2 first downs to run the clock out with the timeouts blurred and the 2-minute warning.
This play here was like one of the seemingly only legit plays I've seen all day. Where the guy sprints there, stops.
Why do you think they do that in the last few minutes? Because that's what you don't.
Because that's what we're watching and that's what we'll remember.
Because it's important.
God damn, you're right about that, aren't you?
If it was 17-0, you don't give a fuck.
Oh, you're perfectly right about that.
Because this is dictating what they need to do is run it down, kick a field goal, and. See, just last second.
Violation of the substitution rule. What the fuck? And the fucking referee's in there like, what? Oh my God.
You're lucky he didn't get run over.
Yeah. He's like, wait, what?
Am I going to pay attention? I'm like, get out of the way. Why is he on?
Now he's up there again, too. Like, what's he doing?
Is he talking to the guy, telling him, hey, listen, y'all making it look too obvious. Guys, get it together. Get it. We ran the script. Come on. Stop making me look like a fool. That's what he's doing. He's worried about his job.
Yeah.
He's telling them to do their job because he needs to do his job.
That one there, he's just running into the ground on purpose on that one.
Little things you see. How are these referees talking to these athletes? Like they're fucking high-fiving and shit?
Yeah.
Get me an autograph after you covered the spread. Thanks. Like, fuck off. And that's just what they are, man. All part of it. Do you know what it would take? You can't just sign to be an NFL referee.
I wonder how long this transceiver is going to last. It's probably on its last bit of battery. We're coming up on 3 hours, 10 minutes. Usually it lasts like 3 hours, 15 minutes or 3.5 hours. So we'll see where this cuts off. There's only 2 minutes left in the game, so.
This one went out.
No, that one's good. Yeah, that's on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. It's this, the one that everything goes to. The little the individual mic or pieces here that we both have. Well, they probably got like half hour to an hour on them yet. So first and second down were really just waste of downs.
Burning the clock.
They made the Chargers chew up all their timeouts.
So what they need here is
Wow.
they need to get 2 first downs because they got 2-minute warning.
Yeah, they need a first down.
They need 1 before the 2-minute warning, and then they got to get 1 after, and then the game's over. Well, actually, fuck, they got to kick a field goal. I'm sorry, I kept thinking it's tied right now. Watch them miss the field goal. Freaking.
We should have paused that. I think I saw the word "sup" on the coach's thingamajig on his whatever he holds. Yeah, like on the back, on the top left corner, it said like "SUP" on what's the bottom word, I thought.